Hello, my fellow seekers of the supernatural. Welcome back to my channel, where we explore the shadows, the unexplained, and the downright terrifying corners of our world. Tonight, we're journeying into the heart of the Midwest, to a place where history whispers through creaking floorboards, where long-forgotten tragedies linger in empty hallways, and where spirits refuse to rest. Kansas may be known for its endless plains and golden sunsets, but hidden beneath its serene surface are houses that carry dark secrets, homes where the past refuses to stay buried, and where the echoes of former lives can still be heard on stormy nights. In this video, we will take you through the 25 most haunted houses in Kansas. From colonial-era mansions to abandoned farmhouses, each location tells a story of sorrow, mystery, and unexplained terror. Some are well known. Some are whispered about only in local legends, but all are bound by one chilling truth. They are haunted. The Sallie House in Atchison, Kansas, stands as one of the most notorious haunted locations in the United States, and its chilling reputation stretches far beyond the small town it inhabits. Built in 1867, this house carries the tragic story of a young girl named Sally, whose life was cut short within its walls. Over the years, her spirit has reportedly lingered, leaving a trail of unsettling encounters and terrifying phenomena that have fascinated and terrified paranormal enthusiasts for decades. Sally was said to be a lively and cheerful child, full of laughter and energy, until the day tragedy struck. Details of her death vary depending on the version of the story, but the most commonly told account describes her succumbing to a sudden illness or an accident within the home. The grief that followed her death is said to have permeated the house itself, creating an environment where the veil between the living and the dead became disturbingly thin. Over time, residents and visitors alike have reported experiences that suggest Sally never truly left. Paranormal investigators who have visited the Sallie House often describe it as a place where the air feels thick, heavy, and oppressive. Many report an immediate sense of unease upon entering, as though the walls themselves are watching. Some claim to have heard the soft, almost playful giggle of a child echoing through empty rooms, only for it to be quickly replaced by an unnerving silence that amplifies every creak of the floorboards. Others speak of the sensation of being touched by unseen hands or the sudden feeling of being pushed without explanation. One of the most widely reported phenomena in the Sallie House is the appearance of scratch marks. These marks often appear suddenly on walls, furniture, and even the skin of those who enter the house. Witnesses describe them as deep, long, and frantic, as if Sally herself is desperately trying to make contact or warning intruders to leave. These scratches are often accompanied by a strange warmth, despite the otherwise cold atmosphere of the rooms. Paranormal researchers have examined these incidents, but no natural explanation has ever been confirmed. Objects moving on their own is another hallmark of the Sallie House. Chairs are found overturned when no one has been near them, and toys and small household items are often discovered in locations that defy logic. Some visitors have reported hearing the unmistakable sound of objects being dragged across the floor, even when no one else is present. In some cases, investigators claim to have witnessed doors slam with immense force, only to find no sign of a draft or structural instability that could explain the phenomenon. These experiences have convinced many that Sally's spirit is not only present but actively interacting with those who enter her former home. Perhaps the most terrifying aspect of the Sallie House, however, is the sightings of apparitions. Some visitors describe fleeting glimpses of a young girl standing in corners, staring with hollow eyes, or appearing suddenly at the foot of a staircase. Others have reported full-body apparitions that move with unnatural speed, disappearing before they can be closely observed. The manifestations are often accompanied by a sense of dread so intense that some people have been unable to stay in the house for more than a few minutes. Even experienced paranormal investigators have admitted to feeling overwhelmed by the sheer malevolence that seems to cling to the property. Many of the documented paranormal encounters in the Sallie House suggest a dual nature to Sally's spirit. On one hand, she is described as mischievous, almost playful, moving objects, and causing small disturbances, as if trying to interact with the living. On the other hand, she can be aggressive and violent, particularly toward those who she perceives as threatening or disrespectful. Several paranormal experts have cautioned that this unpredictable behavior is one of the reasons the Sallie House is considered extremely dangerous to visit without proper preparation and respect for the spiritual presence that resides there. Over the years, the Sallie House has drawn curiosity seekers from all over the country. Ghost hunters and paranormal teams often spend entire nights attempting to document the supernatural activity that purportedly occurs. Video footage and audio recordings sometimes capture strange shadows, inexplicable noises, and faint whispers. Yet, despite the growing body of anecdotal evidence, no definitive explanation has been provided. Skeptics argue that the eerie atmosphere is amplified by the house's history and the power of suggestion, but the consistency and intensity of the reported phenomena continue to baffle even the most experienced investigators. Visitors who have survived an encounter with the Sallie House often recount a sense of exhaustion and unease that lingers long after leaving. Some claim that the house seems to follow them, with unexplained phenomena occurring at their homes, suggesting that Sallie's spirit may not be bound strictly to the walls of the house. Others describe dreams of the girl, vivid and terrifying, in which she reaches out for them or silently pleads for help. These experiences have cemented the house's reputation as one of the most haunted in the Midwest. The story of the Sallie House serves as a reminder that some tragedies leave more than memories behind. The combination of history, untimely death, and intense, unexplained occurrences has made the home a focal point for paranormal enthusiasts seeking to understand what lies beyond the mortal realm. Whether Sallie is a restless spirit seeking companionship, a force warning the living to tread carefully, or something far more sinister, her presence remains undeniable. For those brave or perhaps foolish enough to enter the Sallie House, the experience is unforgettable. Every creak, shadow, and whisper seems to carry a story that is both sorrowful and terrifying. The scratches on the walls, the moving objects, and the fleeting apparitions serve as a chilling reminder that some spirits never leave, and that the house where Sallie lived on died has become her eternal domain. The Sallie House stands as a testament to the power of grief, the mystery of the afterlife, and the enduring fear that accompanies unexplained phenomena. Visitors leave with their hearts pounding, their nerves frayed, and their curiosity about the unknown only deepened. In Atchison, Kansas, the legend of Sallie continues to haunt those who dare to enter her world, offering a glimpse into the shadowy boundary between life and death, and leaving a lingering question for anyone who listens carefully. Is Sallie just a tragic ghost, or something far more vengeful? In the quiet streets of Topeka, Kansas, there exists a tale that has haunted locals for generations. It is the story of a bride who never got the chance to walk down the aisle, whose life was tragically cut short just days before her wedding. Known only as the Woman in White, her restless spirit is said to wander the corridors of the home she once dreamed would become her sanctuary, leaving behind a trail of sorrow, fear, and unexplainable occurrences. The origins of the Woman in White legend are steeped in tragedy. According to local accounts, the bride-to-be was young and full of life, excitedly preparing for her wedding day. She spent hours in the mirror, her heart light with the anticipation of love and commitment. But fate was cruel. Whether due to illness, a sudden accident, or an unforeseen misfortune, she died before she could experience the life she had imagined. Heartbroken and devastated, her family struggled to cope with the loss, yet they could not have foreseen that her spirit would remain tethered to the world of the living by grief, longing, and unfinished dreams. Those who have encountered the Woman in White report experiences that are equal parts beautiful and terrifying. Shadows of a pale woman in a flowing white gown are often glimpsed at the edges of vision, just beyond the corner of a room, or moving silently through empty hallways. Witnesses describe an overwhelming sense of sadness that accompanies her presence, as though the air itself carries the weight of her sorrow. Some have claimed to see her reflection in mirrors when no one else is present, the gown shimmering as if it has been caught between two worlds. Cold spots are a common phenomenon reported in the areas she frequents. Visitors have felt sudden drops in temperature, their breath visible in rooms that should be warm. These chills are often localized, moving with an invisible force that seems to guide the presence of the woman in white from one location to another. Many who have experienced these sudden cold drafts describe a sense of being watched, as though her eyes, invisible but ever present, are following their every movement. The disembodied sounds associated with the woman in white are particularly chilling. Soft weeping, sometimes distant, sometimes right beside a visitor, has been reported throughout the home. The cries carry a weight of despair, a mournful echo of the life that was lost. Some have claimed to hear whispered words, fragmented pleas, or the quiet murmur of someone recounting the excitement of a wedding that will never come. The emotional intensity of these sounds can be overwhelming, leaving visitors both shaken and sorrowful. In addition to auditory phenomena, there are numerous accounts of objects moving on their own. Small items are said to shift slightly, as if nudged by invisible hands. Curtains flutter without a breeze, doors creak open and shut, and delicate trinkets occasionally fall from shelves, as though pushed by an unseen presence. These occurrences are never violent, but they serve as persistent reminders that the woman in white is more than a memory. She is a force that continues to inhabit her former home. Some who have attempted to communicate with the woman in white report mixed reactions. Using candles, quiet conversation, or even recording devices, they have tried to bridge the gap between worlds. At times, these efforts seem to elicit a response, a flicker of a shadow, a sudden chill, or a faint sob. Other attempts are met with silence, leaving a lingering sense of mystery. Paranormal investigators suggest that her spirit is bound not by anger, but by profound sadness and longing, a desire to relive or complete the moments she was denied in life. The emotional intensity of encountering the woman in white is often described as deeply unsettling, yet strangely poignant. Some visitors say they felt compelled to leave notes or speak softly to her, as if offering comfort to a soul trapped in limbo. Others, however, feel a sense of urgency, an almost instinctual need to escape before the weight of her grief becomes too much to bear. This duality, both a sorrowful presence and a potentially overwhelming one, is what makes the woman in white such a compelling figure in the lore of Kansas hauntings. Over the decades, numerous families and curious travelers have reported seeing her, often describing the experience as unforgettable. The sightings are rarely violent, but they are persistent. Even after leaving the home, some claim that the sensation of being watched or the soft echo of a weeping bride lingers in their minds, a haunting reminder that some spirits never find peace. Locals warn that the woman in white is drawn to those who are sensitive to sorrow, empathy, or strong emotions, making encounters deeply personal and, for some, profoundly moving. The legend of the woman in white also serves as a cautionary tale about the fragility of life and the power of unfulfilled dreams. Her spirit embodies the intersection of tragedy and hope, loss and memory. The white gown she wears, visible in fleeting moments or as a shadow in dimly lit corners, symbolizes both her anticipation of a joyful future and the abruptness with which it was stolen from her. The image is hauntingly beautiful, yet filled with a sadness that seeps into the very walls of the home she never got to live in. Ultimately, the woman in white of Topeka is more than just a ghost story. She is a reminder of the lingering presence of grief, the weight of untimely death, and the mystery of souls caught between two worlds. For those who venture into her former home, she is a silent witness, a sorrowful figure draped in white, who continues to wander, unseen but felt, her life and her loss eternally entwined with the house she never left. To encounter her is to glimpse the raw emotion of a spirit that refuses to be forgotten. Shadows shift, cold spots appear, and soft weeping drifts through the halls, leaving an indelible mark on all who witness it. The woman in white remains a symbol of love, loss, and the enduring power of Memoria presence that haunts Topeka, Kansas. as surely as the wind whispers through the empty corridors of her home. The McAllister House in Wichita, Kansas, is a 19th-century mansion shrouded in mystery and steeped in tragedy. Built during a time when Wichita was growing into a bustling city, the mansion was intended to be a symbol of wealth and prestige. However, over the decades, it became known less for its grandeur and more for the unexplained deaths and eerie events that seemed to linger within its walls. The history of the house, coupled with the strange phenomena reported over the years, has made it one of the most infamous haunted locations in the Midwest. From the very beginning, the McAllister House seemed to attract misfortune. Records indicate that several members of the family who lived there died under unusual circumstances, many of which were never fully explained. Some succumbed to illnesses that appeared overnight, while others experienced sudden accidents within the home. Over time, the accumulation of these tragic events has led locals to believe that the house itself carries a dark energy, a presence that feeds on sorrow and despair. Visitors to the McAllister House often report an immediate feeling of unease. Even on bright, sunny days, the mansion casts long, unsettling shadows that seem to move in ways that defy the sun's natural path. Inside, the atmosphere is heavy, as if the air itself has been thickened by years of grief and loss. Many who have entered the home describe a sense that they are being watched, even when they are alone, and that the mansion is alive in some way, quietly observing every step they take. One of the most common reports from those who have investigated the house is the appearance of shadow figures. These dark, indistinct shapes are often glimpsed in peripheral vision, disappearing when looked at directly. Some visitors have described seeing a tall figure pacing silently in the hallways, only to find the space empty when they approach. Others have reported multiple shadowy forms, moving independently yet always just out of reach. The figures are never aggressive, but their presence is deeply unsettling, evoking a sense of being followed by something beyond comprehension. Ghostly footsteps are another frequent phenomenon. Visitors often hear the unmistakable sound of boots or shoes on wooden floors, moving slowly from one room to another. Yet, when they investigate, no one is there. Sometimes the footsteps are heavy and deliberate, as though a person is walking with purpose. Other times, they are light and erratic, almost like a nervous presence skirting the edges of perception. These phantom sounds seem to travel through the house without pattern, appearing in rooms that have long been unoccupied or where no living soul could be. Mysterious lights flickering throughout the McAllister House have also been widely reported. At times, they appear as small glimmers at the corner of a room, resembling candle flames that vanish when approached. On other occasions, entire hallways are briefly illuminated by ghostly glows, casting long shadows that move independently of any physical source. These lights are often accompanied by a drop in temperature or a sense of intense anticipation, making it feel as if the house itself is drawing attention to something unseen. Paranormal investigators who have documented these events often note that the lights behave with intelligence, appearing and disappearing in ways that suggest an awareness of those who are present. Some of the most chilling encounters at the McAllister House involve a combination of these phenomena. Witnesses have described seeing a shadowy figure appear at the end of a hallway, hearing footsteps approach, and then watching as lights flicker in synchronization with the figure's movements. Others have experienced doors slamming shut unexpectedly, objects falling from shelves, or furniture shifting slightly, as if nudged by unseen hands. These simultaneous occurrences leave no doubt in the minds of many visitors that the house harbors a presence that is both active and aware. The emotional impact of visiting the McAllister House is significant. Even seasoned ghost hunters report feeling anxiety, disorientation, and a sense of foreboding that intensifies the longer they remain inside. Some have claimed to hear whispers of names, phrases, or fragmented sentences, often accompanied by an inexplicable sensation of being touched. The cumulative effect of these experiences makes it clear that the mansion is far from a simple historical curiosity. It's a site where the living and the supernatural seem to intersect in unpredictable ways. Local legends suggest that the house's restless spirits are tied not only to the deaths that occurred there, but also to the family's unresolved history. Some believe that the shadow figures are former residents who cannot find peace, forever wandering the rooms they once knew. Others speculate that the house itself is sentient, absorbing the sorrow of its inhabitants and reflecting it back through spectral manifestations. Regardless of the explanation, one fact remains constant. Those who enter the McAllister house rarely leave unchanged. Over the years, the McAllister house has drawn paranormal enthusiasts, skeptics, and curious visitors from across the country. Cameras, audio recorders, and infrared sensors have captured fleeting glimpses of shadows, unexplained noises, and sudden bursts of light, but the phenomena defy full scientific explanation. Witnesses consistently report the same types of occurrences: shadow figures, footsteps, and mysterious lights, lending credibility to the accounts and reinforcing the house's reputation as one of Wichita's most haunted locations. In the end, the McAllister house is more than just a mansion. It is a repository of human emotion, tragedy, and mystery. The shadows that linger, the footsteps that echo, and the lights that flicker are reminders of the lives once lived there and the energy they left behind. Whether these manifestations are the spirits of the deceased, the result of residual energy, or something entirely beyond comprehension, one thing is certain: the McAllister house continues to fascinate, frighten, and captivate all who enter its doors, offering a chilling glimpse into the unknown. For anyone brave enough to step inside, the McAllister house promises an experience unlike any other. The sense of being watched, the unnerving shadows, and the flickering lights serve as constant reminders that the mansion is not merely a building, but a living, breathing entity that remembers, responds, and continues to exist long after the last human footsteps have faded away. It is a place where the past is never truly gone, and where the mysteries of life, death, and the supernatural converge in ways that defy explanation. The Johnson House in Lawrence, Kansas, stands as a silent witness to the tragedies and mysteries of the past. Built in the 1800s, this historic home has seen generations of life within its walls. But it is the shadows of misfortune and sorrow that have left the deepest mark. The house is notorious for a tragic family event that forever altered its atmosphere, and over the decades, numerous visitors have reported experiences that defy explanation, making it one of the most haunted sites in the region. The story of the Johnson House begins with its early inhabitants, a family who sought to establish their lives in a growing town. The house was a symbol of stability and hope, a place where children could grow and memories could be made. Yet, the household was struck by a tragedy so profound that it is said to have permeated the very structure of the home. Accounts of the event vary, but most agree that it involved the sudden death of a family member, leaving the remaining residents in a state of grief and despair. Some say the tragedy was violent, others believe it was unexpected illness, but either way, the loss left an indelible mark on the house and on those who entered it afterward. Visitors to the Johnson House often describe an overwhelming sense of unease from the moment they step through the front door. The air feels heavy and thick, carrying with it the weight of past sorrow. Many people report hearing whispers in empty rooms, faint voices that seem to echo from the walls themselves. The words are often indistinct, a mixture of sighs, soft murmurs, and sometimes urgent calls that vanish before they can be fully understood. Some have described these whispers as repeating names or phrases connected to the family's tragedy, as though the house itself is trying to recount its history to anyone willing to listen. Doors slamming on their own is one of the most commonly reported phenomena in the Johnson House. Visitors recount moments of sudden loud bangs, doors swinging shut with force, and in some cases, entire cabinets opening or closing without explanation. These incidents are particularly unnerving because they seem to happen without any pattern, catching guests off guard and leaving them uncertain of what is real. Some say the slamming doors are the manifestation of a restless spirit, attempting to make its presence known, or perhaps expressing frustration and sorrow. Others believe it is a warning to respect the house and the memories contained within. The atmosphere in the Johnson House is often described as oppressive, as if the walls themselves are pressing inward. People who have spent extended periods inside report feeling watched, sensing a presence lurking just beyond the corner of vision. Shadows seem to flicker at the edge of perception, and the faint creak of floorboards is often heard even when no one is moving. Some visitors have felt sudden chills that sweep through rooms, localized cold spots that intensify when one lingers in a particular area. These cold spots are frequently accompanied by the whispers and doors slamming, creating an experience that is both physically and emotionally unsettling. Beyond the physical phenomena, the Johnson house has a way of affecting the mind and emotions of those who enter. Guests often report an inexplicable sadness, a heaviness in their chest that mirrors the grief of the house's past occupants. Some describe feeling a deep empathy for the unseen residents, a connection to the sorrow that continues to linger. Even those who arrive with skepticism find themselves unnerved by the cumulative effect of these occurrences, leaving with a lingering impression that the house carries its history like a living, breathing entity. Over the years, paranormal investigators have visited the Johnson house, documenting countless experiences. Recordings capture faint whispers that appear when no one else is present, and video footage sometimes shows doors moving or objects shifting inexplicably. While skeptics often attribute these events to drafts, old structures, or imagination, the consistency and intensity of the reports have convinced many that something beyond the natural world inhabits the home. The house's reputation has grown, attracting visitors and ghost hunters from across Kansas and beyond, each eager to witness the mysteries that have persisted for over a century. Some of the most striking encounters at the Johnson house involve the combination of auditory and physical phenomena. Guests have described walking down a quiet hallway only to hear soft whispers behind them, followed moments later by the loud slam of a door in another room. Others have reported footsteps echoing above them in the attic or on floors that are otherwise unoccupied. The synchronization of these events creates an eerie impression of intelligence, as if the house itself, for the spirit within, is deliberately interacting with those who enter. Local lore suggests that the ghostly presence in the Johnson house is not malicious, but rather a lingering manifestation of grief. The spirit, thought to be connected to the family tragedy, seems to be caught between worlds, expressing sorrow, confusion, and a longing for resolution. While some visitors experience minor fear, others report a profound sense of sadness, a feeling that the house is inviting them to acknowledge the pain it carries. This duality, a mixture of haunting and mournings, what makes the Johnson house both terrifying and tragically beautiful. The Johnson house stands today not only as a piece of history, but as a testament to the endurance of memory, grief, and the supernatural. Its walls hold the echoes of a family's pain, and the doors, whispers, and shadows serve as constant reminders that the past is never truly gone. Those who step inside often leave with more than curiosity satisfied. They leave with a sense of connection to something unseen, a reminder that certain places remember far longer than the people who inhabit them. In the Johnson house, every slam of a door, every whisper in the empty room, and every cold spot is a chapter in a story that has yet to reach its conclusion. The house is alive with the memories of the past, a place where grief lingers and spirits are never at rest. Visitors, whether skeptics or believers, find themselves confronted with a presence that is both mysterious and poignant, a lingering echo of the tragedy that forever changed the house and the history it holds. The Burr Oak Mansion in Burr Oak, Kansas, is a historic home that has long been the subject of local legends and chilling tales. Built in the 19th century, the mansion was originally intended as a statement of wealth and prestige, a testament to the ambitions of its first owners. Over time, however, the stately home became better known not for its architectural beauty but for the eerie experiences reported by those who dared to enter its halls. Stories of apparitions, sudden drops in temperature, and unexplained noises at night have given the mansion a reputation as one of the most haunted locations in the region. From the outside, the Burr Oak Mansion appears serene, almost inviting. Its grand windows reflect the sunlight, and its well-maintained grounds seem peaceful. Yet for those who step inside, the atmosphere changes immediately. the air becomes heavy and charged with an energy that is difficult to describe. Visitors often speak of a sense of unease that settles over them as soon as they cross the threshold. Some say it feels as if the house is alive, watching their movements, waiting to see how they will react. One of the most frequently reported phenomena at the Burr Oak Mansion is the appearance of apparitions. Guests and paranormal investigators alike have described seeing figures that materialize suddenly in hallways or near staircases, only to vanish moments later. Some report seeing shadowy figures moving silently in corners, while others claim to have glimpsed full-bodied apparitions dressed in clothing from another era. The appearances are rarely threatening, but their suddenness and unpredictability leave visitors shaken and uncertain of what is real. Many who encounter these spirits describe an overwhelming feeling of sadness or longing, as if the apparitions carry the weight of unfinished business from their lives long ago. Temperature fluctuations are another hallmark of the mansion's haunting. Rooms that should be comfortably warm can suddenly turn icy, sending shivers down the spines of those inside. These cold spots often occur in conjunction with other phenomena, such as the movement of objects or the distant echo of footsteps. Some visitors report feeling a sudden chill that seems to follow them from room to room, as though an invisible presence is tracking their movements. These temperature drops are often accompanied by a sense of foreboding, an almost tangible tension that seems to fill the air with anticipation. Eerie noises are among the most unsettling experiences reported at the Burr Oak Mansion. At night, visitors have heard the creak of floorboards when no one is walking, the soft murmur of voices in empty rooms, and the faint rustle of movement in the shadows. Doors have been known to open and close on their own, sometimes with a force that startles those nearby. Other reports describe the sound of distant laughter or crying, echoing through hallways, in ways that make it difficult to pinpoint their source. These noises are unpredictable and often occur in combination with other paranormal events, creating an environment where tension and fear build with every passing moment. Some of the most compelling accounts come from those who have spent extended periods inside the mansion. Paranormal investigators have conducted overnight studies using audio and video equipment to document activity. Recordings often capture unexplained sounds, such as whispers or footsteps, as well as fleeting glimpses of figures moving just beyond the range of the camera. In some cases, investigators have reported physical sensations, such as sudden pressure on their shoulders or the feeling of being watched, even when they are alone. These experiences contribute to the mansion's reputation as a place where the supernatural is not just rumored, but tangibly present. The history of the Burr Oak Mansion may help explain some of these occurrences. Over the decades, the house has seen multiple owners and a number of tragic events. Stories of untimely deaths, family conflicts, and personal misfortune are intertwined with the mansion's past, and many believe that these events have left a residual energy that continues to affect the home. Some speculate that the apparitions are the spirits of those who lived and died there, unable to move on, while others suggest that the mansion itself acts as a conduit for paranormal energy, amplifying the presence of any restless souls. Visitors often describe a mix of fear and fascination when exploring the mansion. The sense of being in the presence of something beyond the natural world is intense, and even those who enter with skepticism find themselves questioning their perceptions. The combination of apparitions, sudden temperature drops, and mysterious noises creates an atmosphere that is both captivating and unnerving, a reminder that some places carry the weight of the past in ways that cannot be easily explained. Over time, the Burr Oak Mansion has become a destination for those interested in the paranormal, drawing ghost hunters, historians, and curious travelers from across Kansas and beyond. Its reputation has grown, not only because of the frequency of reported phenomena, but also because of the consistency of the experiences. Many who visit recount similar stories of apparitions, chilling cold spots, and eerie sounds, suggesting that the mansion is a focal point of enduring supernatural activity. Despite the fear it inspires, the Burr Oak Mansion also holds a strange allure. The beauty of the architecture and the history of the home create a contrast with the paranormal activity, making the experience of visiting the mansion both mesmerizing and unsettling. Those who spend time there often speak of a sense of connection to the past, as if the house itself is preserving the memory of lives once lived within its walls. It is a place where history and the supernatural intersect, and where visitors are left to navigate the thin line between the two. In the end, the Burr Oak Mansion remains a testament to the enduring presence of the unknown. Its halls are filled with echoes of the past, shadows that move with a life of their own, and an atmosphere that chills the body and unsettles the mind. Whether the apparitions are the spirits of former residents, echoes of tragic events, or something entirely beyond comprehension, there is no denying the power of the mansion's haunting for those who enter its doors. The Burr Oak Mansion offers an experience that lingers long after leaving, a reminder that some places never forget, and some spirits never rest. The Whaley House in Wichita, Kansas, is a 19th-century residence steeped in both history and mystery. Over the years, it has earned a reputation as one of the most haunted homes in the region, largely due to the strange and unexplained events reported by those who have entered its walls. Built during a time when Wichita was rapidly growing, the Whaley House was home to several generations, but its history is marred by tragedy. Many former residents reportedly died under mysterious circumstances, and it is believed that their spirits have never truly left the property. From the moment visitors step into the Whaley House, they often report a palpable sense of unease. The air feels heavy, almost charged with energy, as if the house itself is aware of their presence. Guests frequently describe the sensation of being watched, an invisible gaze that seems to follow them from room to room. The house has a way of amplifying even the smallest sounds: creaking floorboards, distant dripping water, or the shuffle of air through a cracked window, making the atmosphere tense and unnerving. One of the most frequently reported phenomena in the Whaley House is the movement of furniture. Chairs are often found out of place, tables slightly rotated, and other objects shifted as if someone had been interacting with them. Visitors recount instances of chairs scraping across the floor when no one is near, or small items such as books and utensils being moved or even thrown. These events are typically sudden and unpredictable, adding to the sense that the house is alive with unseen activity. Some believe the spirits of former residents are responsible, replaying fragments of their daily routines or expressing lingering frustration from their unfinished lives. Shadow people are another hallmark of the Whaley House's paranormal activity. Guests have reported seeing dark, human-like silhouettes flit across hallways, linger in corners, or suddenly appear at the end of a staircase. These shadowy figures rarely stay long enough to be studied closely, vanishing the moment someone tries to approach. Many visitors describe a deep, instinctive fear when witnessing these shadows, a sensation that seems to resonate with something primal. Despite their fleeting appearances, the presence of shadow people is often accompanied by a sense of oppression or dread, as if the air itself is thickened by their silent watch. Doors opening and closing without cause is a phenomenon that has unnerved countless visitors to the Whaley House. These occurrences happen seemingly at random, with doors swinging open on empty hinges or slamming shut with a force that startles anyone nearby. Sometimes multiple doors in the house will behave this way simultaneously, creating a cacophony of sound that fills the silent spaces with tension. Investigators have checked for drafts, structural problems, and other logical explanations. But in many cases, the events remain inexplicable, leaving only the unsettling conclusion that the house is interacting with its guests in ways beyond human comprehension. The history of the Whaley House may provide some insight into its haunting. Over decades, the house has seen several untimely deaths, illness, and sudden accidents. Each tragic event seems to have left a residue of energy that continues to manifest in unexplained ways. Some speculate that the spirits responsible are the souls of those who died unexpectedly, unable to move on, and trapped by the emotional weight of their past lives. Others suggest that the house itself acts as a focal point for paranormal energy, amplifying and preserving the presence of lingering spirits over time. Regardless of the explanation, The consistency of reported activity over many years lends credence to the idea that the Whaley House is far more than just an old, creaky building. Visitors to the Whaley House often report a range of physical sensations during their experiences. Sudden chills, pressure on the chest or shoulders, and the sensation of being lightly touched by invisible hands are commonly cited. Some describe a feeling of heaviness or resistance when trying to move through certain rooms, as though unseen forces are subtly guiding or hindering them. These physical manifestations, combined with the visual and auditory phenomena, create an immersive and unsettling environment, making it clear why the house has become a focal point for paranormal investigation. The Whaley House has attracted both amateur and professional ghost hunters, historians, and curious travelers from across Kansas. Overnight investigations often reveal consistent patterns, moving furniture, shadow figures, and doors operating without human intervention. Audio recordings frequently capture faint whispers, creaks, or tapping sounds that cannot be accounted for by normal activity. Video footage occasionally shows anomalies, such as blurry figures or fleeting shadows, which disappear upon closer inspection. These repeated experiences have solidified the Whaley House's reputation as a genuine site of supernatural activity. Despite the fear it can evoke, many visitors describe a strange fascination with the Whaley House. The combination of historical significance, architectural beauty, and paranormal activity creates a unique experience, blending curiosity with unease. Guests often leave with a heightened awareness of the environment, a lingering adrenaline rush, and sometimes a sense of reverence for the lives once lived there. The house becomes more than just a building. It is a repository of memory, emotion, and lingering presence, connecting those who enter to a past that is both tragic and enigmatic. Some of the most chilling accounts involve multiple phenomena occurring at once. Guests have reported entering a room to find furniture slightly rearranged, a shadow moving across the wall, and a door quietly opening behind them all within moments. The overlapping nature of these experiences contributes to a sense of unpredictability, making it difficult for anyone inside to feel fully safe or in control. This unpredictability, combined with the house's history of untimely deaths, adds a layer of psychological tension that enhances the haunting atmosphere. Ultimately, the Whaley House is more than a historical curiosity. It is a living testament to the intersection of life, death, and the unknown. The spirits that linger, whether they are former residents or residual energies, serve as reminders that some places carry the weight of memory and emotion far longer than the people who inhabit them. Visitors are left with a sense of awe, fear, and deep curiosity, experiencing firsthand the presence of something beyond ordinary understanding. In the Whaley House, every creaking floorboard, every slamming door, and every shadow flitting across a hallway tells a story of lives once lived and never forgotten. Furniture that moves without explanation, shadowy figures that vanish upon approach, and doors that swing open without cause are all pieces of a haunting puzzle that continues to captivate and terrify all who enter. The house stands as a chilling reminder that some spirits are not easily laid to rest, and that the past can remain startlingly present, hidden just beyond the reach of ordinary perception. The Marshall House in Kansas City has long been a source of intrigue and fear, earning a reputation as one of the most haunted homes in the area. For decades, visitors and residents have reported strange occurrences that defy explanation. This historic residence has become known not for its architecture or its age, but for the paranormal activity that seems to permeate its walls. Apparitions in hallways, sudden cold spots, and faint, unidentifiable voices are among the phenomena that have made the Marshall House a focal point for ghost hunters, curious locals, and anyone fascinated by the unknown. The history of the Marshall House is layered with events that may explain the supernatural activity. Though specific records are scarce, it is known that several families have lived in the home over the decades, and numerous reports of untimely deaths, sudden illnesses, and unexplained accidents have surfaced. These incidents have contributed to a sense that the house itself is steeped in residual energy, a place where the past continues to bleed into the present. Some believe that these energies are tied to the spirits of former residents who, for reasons unknown, have remained tethered to the house rather than moving on. Visitors to the Marshall house often report a feeling of unease from the moment they enter. The air feels heavier than usual, and an inexplicable tension seems to settle over those inside. Some have described the sensation as a subtle pressure on the chest, an invisible weight that makes every movement deliberate. Hallways that appear ordinary in the daytime can take on an almost sinister quality, with shadows stretching unnaturally in corners that seem darker than they should be. It is in these spaces that the apparitions are most frequently seen. The apparitions of the Marshall house are often described as faint and ghostly, appearing just at the edge of vision or moving silently down hallways. Witnesses have reported seeing figures dressed in outdated clothing, standing still as if observing those who enter, or gliding across rooms without making a sound. Some encounters involve full-body apparitions that vanish when approached, leaving only the faint impression that someone or something was there moments before. These sightings are not usually violent, but the unexpected appearance of these figures often evokes a deep, instinctual fear. Many who have seen them describe an overwhelming sense of being watched, as if the house itself is aware of their presence. Cold spots are another hallmark of the Marshall house's paranormal activity. Visitors frequently experience sudden drops in temperature in localized areas, often without any apparent source. These icy pockets can be startling, sometimes accompanied by a sensation of air movement. Even when windows and doors are securely closed, the cold seems to have a life of its own, moving through rooms, following those who enter, or lingering in specific spots long enough to unsettle even the most skeptical observers. Many paranormal investigators believe that these cold spots are indicative of a spirit's presence, a physical manifestation of energy left behind by someone who no longer inhabits the living world. Faint, disembodied voices add another layer of mystery to the Marshall house. These auditory phenomena are often reported as whispers, murmurs, or fragments of speech that cannot be fully understood. Visitors have described hearing their own names called in a hushed tone, or hearing indistinct conversations in empty rooms. The voices are rarely coherent, but carry an emotional weight, ranging from sorrowful to urgent, as if trying to communicate something important. Some have reported multiple voices simultaneously, creating a chilling auditory backdrop that heightens the house's already tense atmosphere. The combination of visual, auditory, and physical phenomena creates an immersive experience for anyone entering the Marshall house. Shadowy figures, cold spots, and whispering voices often occur together, reinforcing the perception that the house is alive with the presence of spirits. Visitors frequently report feeling a sense of being drawn through the house, compelled to move toward certain rooms or hallways, only to find themselves confronted by sudden chills or the faint outline of a figure. These moments are fleeting, yet they leave lasting impressions that stay with individuals long after they leave the property. Many paranormal investigators and thrill seekers have spent nights inside the Marshall house attempting to document its activity. Video cameras sometimes capture unexplained movement, while audio recorders pick up low-frequency sounds that resemble whispers or murmurs. Witnesses consistently describe experiences that align with the house's long-standing reputation. Figures glimpsed in hallways, sudden drops in temperature, and soft, echoing voices that appear to have no identifiable source. The consistency of these reports over decades suggests that the Marshall house is not merely a product of imagination or suggestion, but a location with genuine paranormal significance. Despite the fear it can evoke, the Marshall house also draws fascination. The combination of history, mystery, and unexplained phenomena makes it a captivating location for both casual visitors and dedicated ghost hunters. Guests often leave with a mixture of awe and unease, having experienced firsthand the lingering presence of the past. The house seems to exist in a space where time is blurred, where the lives of former residents continue to echo through hallways, rooms, and staircases, reminding visitors that history is never entirely gone. The Marshall House stands as a testament to the enduring nature of memory, grief, and unexplained phenomena. Every creaking floorboard, every flicker of shadow, and every whisper in the air tells a story of lives once lived and spirits that refuse to fade. It is a place where the boundaries between the living and the dead seem thin, a location where the past persists in ways that are both mysterious and undeniable. For anyone brave enough to enter, the Marshall House offers an experience that is simultaneously unsettling and mesmerizing. Apparitions in hallways, sudden cold spots, and faint haunting voices serve as reminders that the home is more than just a structure. It is a vessel for history, memory, and the supernatural. Those who walk its halls are confronted with the undeniable presence of something beyond the ordinary, leaving them with a lasting impression of fear, curiosity, and respect for the mysteries that continue to linger within its walls. The Stowe House, located in the small town of Stowe, Kansas, is a site shrouded in mystery, fear, and folklore. Its reputation has been built over decades, fueled by stories of witchcraft, unexplained deaths, and the persistent feeling that something unnatural resides within its walls. Though the house itself appears unremarkable from the outside, those who step inside or even linger near the property report experiences that suggest it is far from ordinary. Strange symbols, ghostly figures, and an overwhelming sense of dread have made the Stowe House one of the most infamous haunted locations in the Midwest. The history of the Stowe House is intertwined with the town's darker legends. Local lore claims that the house was built on land cursed by centuries of dark events, a place where violence, death, and occult practices left their mark. Over the years, stories of unexplained deaths have circulated, adding to the building's ominous aura. Some accounts suggest that witches once used the property for rituals, and that their presence still lingers, manifesting in ways that defy explanation. Whether these stories are true or the product of myth, they have given the house a reputation that has drawn curiosity seekers, paranormal investigators, and thrill seekers alike. Visitors to the Stowe House often describe an immediate, intense feeling of dread when approaching the property. Even before entering, the air seems heavier, and the surroundings take on a muted, oppressive quality. Trees cast long, unnatural shadows, and the wind often carries an eerie stillness, broken only by distant, inexplicable sounds. Those who have spent time near the house report that the sense of being watched is overwhelming, as if invisible eyes follow their movements. This pervasive unease sets the stage for the strange and terrifying phenomena that await inside. One of the most commonly reported signs of supernatural activity at the Stowe House is the presence of strange symbols. Visitors have discovered markings etched into the walls, floors, and even ceilings, often appearing overnight or vanishing without explanation. Some symbols resemble ancient runes, while others are more abstract, their meaning impossible to discern. Paranormal researchers suggest that these markings may be linked to occult practices, residual energy, or messages left by spirits attempting to communicate. Regardless of their origin, the symbols contribute to the house's reputation as a place of dark power, a location where ordinary rules do not apply. Ghostly figures are another hallmark of the Stowe House's haunting. Visitors have reported seeing shadowy silhouettes moving through hallways, standing at the end of staircases, or peering from behind doorways. These figures often appear and vanish suddenly, leaving witnesses questioning whether what they saw was real or a trick of the mind. Some descriptions include spectral shapes dressed in old-fashioned clothing, adding to the impression that the house is inhabited by spirits from another time. Many who encounter these figures describe an overwhelming sense of unease, as if the entities are aware of their presence and observing them closely. Intense feelings of dread are perhaps the most consistent aspect of the Stowe House experience. Guests often describe a deep, bone-chilling fear that seems to settle in their very core. The sensation is more than mere anxiety or apprehension. It is a heavy, physical feeling, as though the house itself is pressing down on them. Some report nausea, dizziness, or sudden bouts of cold sweat, and the emotional weight can make even the bravest visitors question their decision to enter. Paranormal experts note that this kind of pervasive dread is often associated with locations where multiple traumatic or violent events have occurred, suggesting that the house may be absorbing and projecting the energy of past tragedies. The combination of strange symbols, ghostly figures, and overwhelming dread creates an environment that is both fascinating and terrifying. Visitors have recounted experiences where all three phenomena occur simultaneously. A shadowy figure appears at the end of a hallway. Strange markings glow faintly on the walls, and a suffocating sense of fear washes over the entire room. These overlapping events reinforce the impression that the Stull House is more than just a building. It is a living repository of dark energy, reacting to the presence of anyone who dares to enter. Over the years, the Stull House has attracted both professional paranormal investigators and casual thrill seekers. Those who spend the night on the property frequently report unexplained noises, including footsteps, whispers, and low murmurs that seem to come from empty rooms. Some have captured photographic anomalies, faint shapes, or flickers of movement that cannot be explained by light or shadow. Audio recordings sometimes reveal distorted voices or unintelligible murmurs, lending credence to the idea that spirits or other supernatural forces remain active within the house. Local legend has it that the Stull House is a gateway of sorts, a location where the boundaries between the living and the dead are particularly thin. Some believe that the spirits who inhabit the home are tethered to the property due to unfinished business, unresolved trauma, or ritualistic energy that has not been dispelled. Others suggest that the house itself may serve as a conduit, amplifying the supernatural forces that linger in the surrounding area. Regardless of the explanation, those who visit often leave with the distinct impression that the house is far from ordinary, and that its power and mystery are very real. Despite, or perhaps because of its dark reputation, the Stull House continues to draw attention. It's a combination of historical significance, folklore, and reported paranormal activity makes it an irresistible destination for those interested in the unknown. Visitors are drawn to the challenge of confronting the fear it evokes, hoping to catch a glimpse of the unexplained or to feel the presence of entities from another world. The house's legend has grown with each reported encounter, solidifying its place in Kansas folklore as one of the most haunted and mysterious locations in the region. The Stull House is a chilling reminder that some places are shaped as much by the stories told about them as by their physical structure. Every shadow, every strange symbol, and every sudden drop in temperature reinforces the feeling that this is a location where ordinary life and the supernatural collide. For those who dare to explore it, the house offers an unforgettable experience, a glimpse into a world where the past lingers. The unseen watches, and the boundary between life and death feels impossibly thin. The Black House in Topeka, Kansas, stands as one of the most notorious and unsettling locations in the state. Its history is steeped in tragedy and violence, a series of events that have left a lingering impression, not only on the local community, but also on those who dare to step through its doors. Over the years, the house has gained a reputation as a hotspot for paranormal activity, drawing the attention of ghost hunters, thrill seekers, and anyone curious about the unknown. Reports of doors slamming without cause, shadows shifting in hallways, and voices whispering in the night have made the Black House a symbol of fear and mystery in Kansas folklore. The history of the Black House is intertwined with violent and unsettling events. While details are sometimes vague or conflicting, the consensus is that the home has been the site of several tragic occurrences, including unexplained deaths and acts of aggression that left a lasting mark. These events are believed to have infused the house with residual energy, a dark force that continues to manifest in the lives of those who enter. Locals speak of the home in hushed tones, warning visitors that the spirits within are restless and unpredictable, and that the Black House should not be entered lightly. Visitors to the Black House often report an immediate sense of unease as they approach. Even from the street, the home exudes a foreboding presence, its dark windows seeming to watch like eyes. The air feels heavy, thick with tension, and there is an unmistakable energy that seems to cling to the property. Those who step inside describe the sensation of being watched, a subtle but pervasive feeling that unseen eyes are tracking their movements. Every creak of a floorboard, every whisper of the wind, seems amplified within the walls of the house, setting the stage for the strange and frightening occurrences that have become its hallmark. Doors slamming on their own are among the most frequently reported phenomena at the Black House. Visitors recount moments when doors swing shut or bang open without any apparent cause, often with startling force. Sometimes multiple doors will operate simultaneously, creating a cacophony of sound that echoes through the hallways. These occurrences are unpredictable, happening at any time of day or night, and they are often accompanied by a cold draft or a sudden shift in the atmosphere. Many believe that these door movements are the result of restless spirits attempting to assert their presence, or perhaps the echoes of past violence repeating themselves in an endless loop. Shadows moving within the Black House are another common feature of its hauntings. Guests have reported seeing dark, human-like shapes drifting through hallways, standing in corners, or disappearing suddenly around doorways. These shadowy figures often appear at the periphery of vision, leaving witnesses unsure whether they truly saw something or whether it was a trick of light and imagination. However, many accounts describe interactions that cannot easily be dismissed, such as shadows that seem to react to the presence of living individuals or move independently of any natural light source. The sight of these figures frequently evokes intense fear, as though the entities are aware of the living and actively observing them. Voices whispering in the night add another layer of horror to the Black House experience. Visitors report hearing faint murmurs, indistinct conversations, or even fragmented words in rooms that appear empty. The whispers are often described as urgent, sorrowful, or angry, sometimes calling out names or repeating phrases that echo the home's violent history. These auditory phenomena are unsettling because they feel personal, as though the spirits are communicating directly with those present, attempting to convey messages or emotions from beyond the grave. For many, the voices create a chilling sense that the past has not only survived, but is actively reaching out to the living. The cumulative effect of these phenomena, doors slamming, shadows moving, and whispering voices, creates an environment that is simultaneously fascinating and terrifying. Visitors often experience heightened anxiety, sudden chills, and a sense of vulnerability that is difficult to shake. Even those who enter with skepticism find themselves questioning their senses, as the Black House seems to bend perception, amplifying ordinary sounds and movements into something profoundly disturbing. The house does not merely exist as a physical structure. It operates as a stage for the memories, energies, and unresolved conflicts that continue to inhabit it. Paranormal investigators have spent countless nights in the Black House attempting to document its activity. Audio and video recordings frequently capture anomalies, including unexplained noises, fleeting shadows, and doors moving on their own. Some investigators report feeling pressure on their bodies, sudden temperature drops, or the sensation of being touched by invisible hands. While skeptics may attribute these experiences to natural causes or the power of suggestion, the consistency and intensity of the reports over decades suggest that the Black House is a site of genuine supernatural significance. Despite its fearsome reputation, the Black House continues to attract attention. Thrill seekers, ghost hunters, and paranormal enthusiasts are drawn by the challenge of confronting the unknown and experiencing firsthand the eerie phenomena described in countless accounts. Many visitors leave with stories of fleeting shadows, sudden slams, and whispering voices that linger in memory long after leaving the property. The house's history, combined with its persistent supernatural activity, ensures that its legend remains alive, inspiring both fear and fascination for generations. The Black House is more than a haunted structure. It is a living testament to the lingering power of past violence and unresolved energy. Every door that slams, every shadow that moves, and every whispered voice serves as a reminder that some places remember, that some spirits do not rest, and that the echoes of history can reach across time to touch the present. Those who enter the Black House encounter more than just a home. They confront a presence that is both mysterious and undeniable, a chilling reminder of the thin boundary between the living and the dead. For anyone willing to step inside, the Black House offers an experience that is unforgettable, a place where fear and curiosity collide. The shadows, the slamming doors, and the whispering voices ensure that the house leaves a lasting impression, cementing its place as one of Kansas' most infamous haunted locations. It stands as a reminder that some homes are more than brick and mortar. They are repositories of memory, tragedy, and lingering spirits that refuse to be forgotten. The Kellogg House in Wichita, Kansas, stands as a silent witness to decades of history, tragedy, and unexplained phenomena. Built in the late 1800s, the mansion was originally constructed as a symbol of prosperity, a spacious home meant to house generations of one family. However, over time, it became infamous not for its architecture or grandeur, but for the series of deaths, misfortunes, and strange occurrences that have taken place within its walls. Today, the Kellogg House is known as one of Wichita's most haunted locations, drawing the curious, paranormal investigators, and those fascinated by the unknown. The history of the Kellogg House is marked by multiple deaths over the decades, events that have contributed to its chilling reputation. While specific records are sometimes incomplete, local lore claims that several residents died suddenly or under mysterious circumstances. Some deaths were attributed to illness, while others were unexplained accidents. The cumulative effect of these tragedies has left an atmosphere in the house that many describe as heavy, oppressive, and filled with the echoes of grief. Some paranormal enthusiasts believe that these past events have left behind residual energy, an imprint of the suffering and sorrow that occurred in the home. Visitors to the Kellogg House often report an immediate feeling of unease. From the moment they step onto the property, the atmosphere feels charged, as if unseen eyes are observing their every movement. Inside the home, this sensation intensifies. The creak of floorboards seems amplified. Shadows appear to linger longer than natural, and even the smallest sounds, such as the flutter of a curtain or the soft hum of wind through a window, take on a foreboding quality. Many who enter describe a sense of tension, as though the house itself is alive, aware, and quietly observing their presence. One of the most commonly reported phenomena at the Kellogg House is the sound of footsteps echoing through rooms and hallways when no one is present. Visitors have described hearing slow, deliberate steps pacing the floors above or behind them, even when they are alone. At times, the footsteps seem to follow a pattern, moving in a way that mimics the routines of a previous resident, while at other times, they appear random and unsettling. The sound is distinct and unmistakable, leaving witnesses with the unnerving impression that someone or something is walking alongside them unseen. Equally mysterious is the phenomenon of objects disappearing or moving without explanation. Guests have reported finding personal items, keys, or even larger household objects missing, only to reappear in entirely different locations. Small items like books or trinkets have been found on shelves or tables where they were never placed, and in some cases, furniture has been subtly rearranged. These occurrences are never overtly threatening, but they create a persistent sense of uncertainty, reinforcing the idea that the house is inhabited by forces beyond human understanding. The combination of footsteps and moving objects contributes to a sense that the Kellogg House is not merely a building but a repository of residual energy. Witnesses often report experiencing both phenomena simultaneously, hearing steps echo down a hallway, while noticing a chair slightly askew or a personal item displaced. These overlapping events intensify the feeling of being watched and create an immersive experience that is both terrifying and fascinating. For many, the house seems to act as a living entity, interacting with visitors in ways that challenge the boundaries between the natural and supernatural. Some of the most chilling encounters involve extended periods spent alone in the house. Paranormal investigators have documented a range of unusual activity. Footsteps recorded on audio devices when no one is moving, objects that appear in new locations on video footage, and even unexplained temperature drops that correspond with unusual sounds or movements. Witnesses consistently describe a sensation of presence, a feeling that something unseen is standing just behind them, observing and waiting. These experiences reinforce the house's reputation as a place where the living and the unseen coexist, and where the echoes of past tragedies remain tangible. The emotional impact of spending time in the Kellogg house is profound. Many visitors describe an underlying sense of melancholy, as though the house is saturated with the emotions of those who once lived and died there. Even without visual manifestations, the atmosphere alone is enough to unsettle newcomers. Some report feelings of anxiety, sudden chills, or a sense of heaviness in certain rooms, particularly those associated with the deaths recorded in the house's history. The combination of historical tragedy and unexplained activity creates an environment where fear and curiosity intertwine, compelling visitors to both explore and remain cautious. Over the years, the Kellogg house has drawn attention not only from locals, but also from paranormal enthusiasts and investigators across Kansas. Despite the frequent reports of haunting phenomena, the house remains standing, a testament to its resilience and to the enduring interest in its mysteries. Photographs, audio recordings, and first-hand accounts have documented strange lights, fleeting shadows, and inexplicable movements, lending credibility to the long-standing claims of supernatural activity. Each new visitor adds to the legacy of stories surrounding the house, reinforcing its reputation as a genuine site of paranormal intrigue. Ultimately, the Kellogg house is more than just a historic building. It is a place where history, memory, and the supernatural converge. Every creaking floorboard, every unseen step, and every object that shifts on its own serves as a reminder that the house is alive in ways beyond ordinary understanding. For those who step inside, the experience is unforgettable, a mix of fear, awe, and curiosity that lingers long after leaving. The Kellogg house continues to stand as a monument to the past, to the lives lost within its walls, and to the unexplained phenomena that ensure its legacy as one of Wichita's most haunted and mysterious homes. The Hollenberg House in Hanover, Kansas, is a historic residence steeped in tragedy and mystery. Built in the 19th century, the house was originally intended as a family home, a place of comfort and security. However, over the decades, it became the site of several tragic deaths within the family. Events that left a lasting mark on the property and those who entered it. Today, the Hollenberg House is widely regarded as one of the most haunted locations in the state, drawing the attention of paranormal investigators, history enthusiasts, and the curious alike. Reports of cold spots, shadowy figures, and objects moving without explanation have created a chilling reputation that continues to grow with each retelling. The history of the Hollenberg House is closely tied to the family who lived there. In the 19th century, multiple family members died under tragic circumstances, leaving behind a legacy of grief and sorrow. Some deaths were sudden and unexplained, while others resulted from illness or accidents that still cast a shadow over the property. Over time, these tragedies are believed to have left an imprint on the house itself, creating an energy that persists long after the last residents departed. Local lore suggests that the spirits of those who perished remain tethered to the home, unable to move on, their presence felt by anyone who dares to enter. Visitors to the Hollenberg House often describe an immediate sense of unease as they approach. Even from the outside, the house exudes a quiet, foreboding presence. The windows appear dark and uninviting, and the surrounding landscape seems unusually still, as if the world itself is holding its breath. Inside, the atmosphere is heavier, filled with a tension that is difficult to explain. Many guests report feeling watched, as though unseen eyes are following their movements, and a sense of dread settles over them, intensifying with each step further into the house. Cold spots are among the most frequently reported phenomena within the Hollenberg House. Visitors often feel sudden drops in temperature in specific rooms or hallways, even on warm days. These icy patches appear without warning and sometimes seem to move with individuals as they explore the house. The cold is often accompanied by a sense of pressure or unease, making it difficult to remain calm. Paranormal investigators believe these cold spots indicate the presence of spirits, a residual energy that manifests physically in ways that the living can perceive. Shadowy figures are another hallmark of the Hollenberg house. Witnesses frequently report glimpsing dark, humanoid shapes that move silently through hallways, appear in corners, or vanish as quickly as they materialize. These figures are rarely fully visible, often observed only at the edge of one's vision, leaving visitors uncertain whether what they saw was real. Some have described shadows that seem to follow them, disappearing when confronted directly. Others have encountered fleeting figures near staircases or doorways, their presence evoking a deep, instinctual fear that lingers long after the sighting. Objects moving without explanation add a particularly unnerving element to the house's haunting. Visitors have reported doors opening and closing on their own, chairs shifting slightly, and small items such as books or utensils disappearing, only to reappear in entirely different locations. These occurrences are unpredictable and often coincide with other phenomena, such as cold spots or shadowy figures, creating an environment where the house feels alive and aware. Many believe that the objects are being manipulated by the spirits of former residents, either as a way to communicate or to remind the living of their lingering presence. The cumulative effect of these phenomena, cold spots, shadowy figures, and moving objects, creates an atmosphere of constant tension within the Hollenberg house. Guests frequently report a heightened sense of fear and alertness, unable to predict when or where the next occurrence will take place. Even those who enter with skepticism find themselves questioning their senses, as the house seems to interact with them in subtle yet undeniable ways. Each unexplained sound, flicker of movement, or chill in the air reinforces the sense that the house is not merely a structure, but a repository of memory, grief, and unresolved energy. While video footage occasionally reveals shadows moving independently of any physical source, many investigators report experiencing physical sensations, such as pressure on their shoulders, sudden chills, or the feeling of being followed. While skeptics may attribute these experiences to imagination or structural quirks of the building, the consistency of accounts over decades suggests that the house harbors something beyond ordinary explanation. The emotional impact of visiting the Hollenberg house is significant. Guests often describe an almost tangible sadness in the air, a reflection of the tragic history of the family who once lived there. Some report a sense of empathy for the spirits that linger, feeling the weight of the losses and misfortune that occurred within the walls. Others experience a mixture of fear and fascination, drawn to the house by curiosity, while simultaneously wishing to escape its oppressive atmosphere. This duality of attraction and dread is a defining characteristic of the Hollenberg house experience. The Hollenberg house stands as a testament to the intersection of history, tragedy, and the unexplained. Every cold spot, shadowy figure, and displaced object serves as a reminder that the past continues to inhabit the present. The house is more than a building. It is a vessel for the memories, emotions, and lingering energies of those who once called it home. Visitors leave with stories, photographs, and recordings, all contributing to the growing legend of the Hollenberg house, ensuring that its reputation as one of Kansas's most haunted locations endures. For those brave enough to enter, the Hollenberg house offers an experience that is simultaneously frightening and captivating. The cold that cuts through the air, the shadows that seem to move with a life of their own, and the objects that vanish and reappear without explanation all create a sense of living history intertwined with the supernatural. The house is a reminder that some places carry the weight of their past in ways that the living cannot ignore, and that the spirits of those who suffered there continue to make their presence known, quietly watching, moving, and reminding all who enter that they are never truly alone. The Hayes House in Kansas City stands as a testament to the grandeur of early 20th century architecture. Yet beneath its stately exterior lies a history steeped in mystery and reported paranormal activity. Built by a wealthy family in the early 1900s, the house was once a symbol of prosperity and refinement. Over time, however, stories of strange occurrences and unexplained phenomena have transformed the Hayes House from a showcase of elegance into one of the city's most infamous haunted locations. Reports of apparitions, doors opening on their own, and furniture shaking have fascinated both local residents and paranormal enthusiasts for decades. The history of the Hayes House is entwined with the family who built and inhabited it. The original owners were prominent in Kansas City society, hosting lavish parties and maintaining a household that reflected their wealth and status. While there are no records of violent events, several accounts suggest that personal tragedies, including untimely deaths and illnesses, occurred within the home. These incidents are believed by some to have left lingering emotional energy, creating an environment where the past continues to bleed into the present. Over the years, this residual energy is said to have manifested in ways that are both subtle and overt, giving the house its haunted reputation. Visitors to the Hayes House often describe an immediate sense of unease as they step through the front doors. The air inside feels heavier, almost charged, and there is a subtle tension that seems to settle over every room. Many guests report feeling as though they are being watched, a sensation that intensifies in the quiet hallways and expansive living spaces. Even during the day, shadows appear to linger longer than natural. And ordinary sounds, such as the creak of a floorboard or the hum of wind against a window, take on an unnerving quality. The atmosphere is both elegant and foreboding, a duality that mirrors the house's rich history and supernatural reputation. One of the most frequently reported phenomena in the Hayes House is the appearance of apparitions. Guests have described seeing faint, ghostly figures of former residents moving silently through the rooms, standing near doorways, or gliding across the hallways. These apparitions are often dressed in early 20th century clothing, reflecting the period when the house was first inhabited. Some witnesses have seen figures in sitting rooms, observing as if they were attending to unfinished duties, while others report glimpses in stairwells or near windows, disappearing when approached. The apparitions do not appear overtly threatening, but their presence creates an unmistakable sense of being in the presence of something beyond the living. Doors opening on their own is another common occurrence in the Hayes House. Visitors have reported both interior and exterior doors swinging open or closing with force, seemingly without cause. These events are unpredictable, sometimes happening in quick succession, and often accompanied by a sudden chill or draft. Paranormal investigators suggest that the doors may be influenced by spiritual activity or residual energy, as if the house itself is subtly interacting with the living. For guests, these moments are startling, adding a tangible sense of tension and unpredictability to the experience of exploring the home. Furniture shaking and moving without explanation is another hallmark of the Hayes House haunting. Chairs have been observed rocking on their own, tables trembling, and small items shifting across surfaces without human intervention. These incidents are typically sudden and can occur in rooms that appear otherwise empty. Witnesses often report a brief moment of fear followed by awe, as the movements are unmistakable and defy logical explanation. The combination of shaking furniture, moving doors, and ghostly apparitions creates a layered haunting, making the Hayes House a dynamic and immersive environment for those who experience it firsthand. The cumulative effect of these paranormal phenomena is an atmosphere that is both thrilling and unnerving. Visitors describe heightened senses, a sense of vulnerability, and the feeling that the house is alive in some mysterious way. The interplay of visual, auditory, and tactile experiences ensures that the haunting is never one-dimensional. Shadows, whispers, and physical movements overlap, reinforcing the impression that the past is very much present, coexisting with the living in the same space. Even skeptics often find themselves questioning their perceptions, as the experiences reported are consistent and repeatable across decades of observation. Paranormal investigations of the Hayes House have documented numerous unexplained occurrences. Audio recordings capture faint footsteps, soft voices, or indistinct murmurs. Video footage sometimes shows objects shifting, fleeting shadows, or subtle distortions that cannot be attributed to light or structural movement. Investigators frequently report sudden drops in temperature, a common indicator of spiritual presence, often coinciding with the appearance of apparitions or other activity. While the house retains its historical charm, these documented anomalies confirm that it is more than a relic of the past. It is a site where the unknown continues to assert itself. Despite or perhaps because of its haunted reputation, the Hayes House remains a site of fascination. Ghost enthusiasts, historians, and curious travelers continue to visit, hoping to witness firsthand the phenomena that have been reported for decades. Guests often leave with stories of glimpses of figures in period clothing, doors that swing mysteriously, and furniture that moves as if guided by invisible hands. Each encounter adds to the living legend of the house, reinforcing its place as one of Kansas City's most intriguing and mysterious locations. The Hayes House serves as a reminder that history and the supernatural are often intertwined in ways that defy understanding. The legacy of the original family, the tragedies that occurred within its walls, and the ongoing reports of paranormal activity combine to make the house a living repository of memory and energy. Every creaking floorboard, every shifting shadow, and every unexplained movement of objects reinforces the sense that the past is never truly gone. For those who enter, the experience is unforgettable, leaving an impression of wonder, curiosity, and an undeniable connection to the unseen forces that linger within the Hayes House. The Brown House in Lawrence, Kansas, is a historic residence that has long fascinated both locals and visitors due to its reputation for supernatural activity. Though its exterior is unassuming, the house has become synonymous with paranormal phenomena, drawing curious onlookers, thrill-seekers, and paranormal investigators alike. For decades, residents and guests have reported experiences that defy explanation, including whispering voices, cold drafts, and objects seemingly thrown by unseen hands. These events have cemented the Brown House's status as one of the most haunted homes in the region. The history of the Brown House is as intriguing as the hauntings themselves. Built in the 19th century, the home has seen generations of occupants and has borne witness to both ordinary life and extraordinary tragedy, while the specific details of its early inhabitants are sometimes vague. Numerous accounts suggest that the house has been the site of sudden deaths, family disputes, and unexplained misfortunes. Over time, these events are believed to have left a residual energy within the home, creating an environment where the line between the living and the unseen is disturbingly thin. Locals whisper that the spirits of former residents linger, drawn to the place they once called home, manifesting in ways that continue to unsettle anyone who dares enter. Visitors to the Brown House often describe an immediate sense of unease upon crossing the threshold. The air feels heavy, almost oppressive, and the atmosphere seems charged with a tension that is difficult to ignore. Many report feeling the sensation of being watched, as if unseen eyes are tracking their every movement. Hallways and rooms that appear ordinary by daylight take on a sinister quality when explored, with shadows lengthening unnaturally and ordinary sounds amplified, making even familiar creaks or groans seem menacing. It is within this charged environment that the most notable paranormal phenomena occur. Whispering voices are among the most frequently reported occurrences in the Brown House. Guests have recounted hearing soft, indistinct murmurs, often seeming to come from rooms that are otherwise empty. Sometimes the whispers are fleeting, audible only for a moment before fading into silence, while at other times they seem persistent, following visitors from room to room. Many describe the voices as urgent or sorrowful, giving the impression that the spirits are attempting to communicate, warn, or share their emotional weight with the living. The effect of these whispers is profoundly unnerving, often causing visitors to pause, glance over their shoulders, and question whether they are hearing reality or the echoes of the past. Cold drafts are another hallmark of the Brown House's hauntings. Sudden drops in temperature occur unpredictably, sometimes enveloping a single room, a hallway, or even an individual as they move through the house. These chills are often accompanied by a sense of pressure or unease, creating a physical reminder that the house is more than it seems. Visitors often report shivering despite the warmth of the day, feeling icy air move along their skin, as if something unseen is brushing past them. Paranormal investigators consider these cold spots a strong indicator of spirit activity, suggesting that the presence of lingering energy can manifest tangibly in the living world. Perhaps the most alarming phenomenon reported in the Brown house is the movement or throwing of objects. Guests have recounted instances of small items, such as books, utensils, or personal belongings, being flung across rooms without any visible cause. In some cases, larger pieces of furniture appear to shift slightly, as if nudged by an invisible hand. These incidents are unpredictable and often occur in conjunction with other phenomena, such as whispering voices or cold drafts, amplifying the overall sense of unease. Witnesses describe a combination of fear and disbelief, unable to rationalize the events but undeniably aware of their reality. The cumulative effect of these paranormal occurrences creates an environment of sustained tension within the Brown house. Visitors often experience heightened awareness and a sense of vulnerability, unable to predict when or where the next event might take place. Even those who enter with skepticism find themselves questioning their perceptions, as the experiences reported are consistent across multiple decades and by numerous individuals. The interplay of auditory, tactile, and visual phenomena ensures that the haunting is multidimensional, leaving an indelible impression on all who encounter it. Paranormal investigators who have studied the Brown house over the years report similar patterns of activity. Audio recordings frequently capture faint whispers, sometimes speaking in fragments that seem to echo past events. Video evidence occasionally shows objects moving subtly or disappearing from one location only to reappear in another. Investigators often report feeling sudden pressure on their shoulders, unexplained cold sensations, or the sense that someone or something is standing just behind them. While skeptics may attribute these occurrences to structural quirks, drafts, or imagination, the consistency of reports and the intensity of experiences support the idea that the Brown house is a focal point for supernatural activity. The emotional impact of visiting the Brown house is profound. Guests often describe a lingering sense of sadness or melancholy, as though the house itself carries the weight of the tragedies that have occurred within its walls. Some experience fear that borders on panic when confronted with unexpected phenomena, while others feel an inexplicable empathy for the spirits that remain. This combination of dread, fascination, and emotional resonance makes the house both terrifying and compelling, ensuring that visitors are unlikely to forget their experiences. Over time, the Brown house has become a symbol of Kansas's haunted history. Its legacy is not only a testament to the tragedies of the past, but also a reminder that some places are repositories of energy and memory that persist long after their human occupants have passed. Each whisper, each cold draft, and each object that moves without explanation is a small thread in a larger tapestry of haunting, woven from decades of history, emotion, and unexplained phenomena. For anyone brave enough to step inside, the Brown house offers an encounter with the unknown that is both terrifying and mesmerizing. The whispers that echo through empty rooms, the chilling cold that seems to follow visitors, and the objects that defy gravity all combine to create an unforgettable experience. The house serves as a reminder that some histories are never fully buried, and that the spirits of those who lived and suffered within its walls continue to make their presence known, ensuring that the Brown house remains a place of mystery, fear, and fascination for generations to come. St. Mary's Orphanage in Topeka, Kansas, is a place where the echoes of the past refuse to be silenced. Once a home for children without families, the orphanage has a history marked by tragedy, disease, and loss. Over the years, countless reports of paranormal activity have surfaced, earning St. Mary's a reputation as one of the most haunted locations in the state. Visitors often describe hearing the laughter of children in empty rooms, seeing apparitions of children playing or wandering the halls, and experiencing unexplained noises that defy logic. The orphanage stands as a chilling reminder of lives lost too soon and the lingering presence of spirits who remain tied to the place they once called home. The history of St. Mary's Orphanage is both poignant and unsettling. Established in the late 19th century, the institution provided shelter and care for children who had lost their parents or were abandoned. While it served a vital role in the community, the orphanage also endured devastating periods of disease and epidemic outbreaks. Numerous children succumbed to illnesses that swept through the building, leaving a lasting mark on both the physical structure and the memories associated with it. Over time, the cumulative grief and suffering of those who lived and died there is believed to have created a residual energy, one that manifests in the strange and haunting phenomena reported by visitors. Approaching St. Mary's Orphanage, visitors often sense a palpable heaviness in the air. The exterior of the building, though aged and weathered, carries an aura of solemnity, hinting at the pain and sorrow contained within its walls. Once inside, the atmosphere becomes even more oppressive. Rooms that appear empty and abandoned can feel almost alive, as if the walls themselves are holding on to the memories of children who once filled the space with life. Many report the unsettling sensation of being watched, as though unseen eyes follow their movements through long hallways and quiet rooms. One of the most commonly reported phenomena at St. Mary's is the sound of children's laughter echoing through empty rooms. Visitors describe hearing giggles, running footsteps, and faint singing that seems to come from nowhere. These sounds are often fleeting, vanishing as suddenly as they appear. Yet, they leave a lasting impression on those who experience them. Some guests have reported the laughter intensifying when they enter rooms that were historically dormitories or play areas, creating a chilling juxtaposition between the innocence of the sounds and the tragic history of the orphanage. Apparitions of children are another hallmark of the St. Mary's haunting. Witnesses describe fleeting images of young figures, often appearing near stairwells, in corridors, or playing quietly in corners. Some apparitions are described as semi-transparent, ghostly forms that seem aware of the living, while others are more solid and lifelike, moving independently before vanishing without a trace. These sightings are particularly unsettling because they often occur in areas that were once the most active during the orphanage's operational years, as though the spirits are reenacting fragments of their former lives. Unexplained noises contribute to the house's chilling reputation. Visitors frequently hear footsteps in empty hallways, doors opening and closing on their own, and objects falling or moving without explanation. Some have reported the faint echo of a ball bouncing across a room, or the rustle of clothing, as if children are moving just out of sight. These auditory phenomena combine with the visual and emotional elements of the haunting, creating an environment where the past and present feel inseparably intertwined. The cumulative effect of these paranormal occurrences is a heightened sense of tension and unease. Guests often describe a combination of fear, sadness, and awe while exploring the orphanage. Even skeptics who enter the building expecting rational explanations find themselves questioning their perceptions, as the experiences are often vivid, consistent, and emotionally charged. The presence of laughter, apparitions, and unexplained noises blurs the line between reality and the supernatural, leaving visitors with a haunting impression that is difficult to shake. Paranormal investigations at St. Mary's Orphanage have documented a variety of phenomena. Audio recordings frequently capture faint voices or indistinct whispers that cannot be attributed to external sources. Video footage sometimes reveals fleeting shadows or blurred figures moving through hallways. Investigators also report sudden drops in temperature in specific areas, a phenomenon commonly associated with the presence of spirits. These tangible signs of paranormal activity reinforce the idea that the orphanage is more than an abandoned building. It is a place where lingering energy and memories continue to manifest in physical and perceptible ways. The emotional impact of visiting St. Mary's Orphanage is profound. Guests often feel a deep sadness, a reflection of the suffering and loss that occurred within the building. Some describe a sense of empathy for the spirits of the children who remain, as if their presence is a reminder of lives interrupted too soon. Others experience fear and anxiety when confronted with unexpected sounds or visual phenomena. This combination of emotions, compassion, terror, and fascination creates an unforgettable experience, one that stays with visitors long after they leave the property. Over the years, St. Mary's Orphanage has become a symbol of both historical significance and paranormal intrigue. Its dark past, combined with persistent reports of supernatural activity, ensures that it remains a point of fascination for those interested in the unknown. The building stands as a reminder that places carry memory, that sorrow and loss can leave a lasting imprint, and that the spirits of those who suffered or died may linger long after their time in the physical world has ended. For anyone willing to step inside, St. Mary's Orphanage offers an encounter with the unknown that is both terrifying and poignant. The sound of children laughing in empty rooms, the fleeting images of ghostly apparitions, and the unexplained noises create an immersive experience where history, tragedy, and the supernatural converge. The orphanage remains a haunting testament to lives lost, a place where the past continues to echo, reminding visitors that some spirits never truly leave the places they once called home. The Franklin House in Wichita, Kansas, is a Victorian-era home whose elegant exterior masks a history filled with mystery and paranormal activity. Built in the late 1800s, the house was once a symbol of prosperity, featuring ornate woodwork, grand staircases, and expansive rooms that reflected the wealth and sophistication of its original owners. However, over the decades, it has become known less for its architectural beauty and more for the strange, unexplained events that occur within its walls. Visitors and residents alike have reported ghostly apparitions, sudden cold spots, and doors opening and closing without explanation, creating an atmosphere of fear and fascination that endures to this day. The history of the Franklin House is marked by the passage of time, multiple occupants, and accounts of tragedy. While much of the house's past remains undocumented, local stories tell of sudden deaths, illnesses, and personal misfortunes that befell the families who lived there. These events are believed to have left a residual energy within the home, a presence that continues to manifest in ways that those who enter can feel and observe. Over the years, this energy has given rise to the house's reputation as a haunted location, attracting ghost hunters, thrill seekers, and paranormal enthusiasts eager to witness its unexplained phenomena firsthand. Visitors to the Franklin House often describe an immediate sense of unease upon entering. The air feels heavy and charged, as though the very walls hold the memories of the people who once lived and died there. Hallways stretch longer than they appear, and shadows seem to cling unnaturally to corners, creating a disorienting and sometimes oppressive atmosphere. Many who enter report a subtle but undeniable feeling of being watched, a sensation that grows stronger as they move deeper into the home. The combination of historical weight and supernatural energy creates an environment that is both alluring and intimidating. One of the most commonly reported phenomena at the Franklin House is the appearance of ghostly apparitions. Visitors have described seeing faint, translucent figures moving silently through rooms or standing at the top of staircases, observing those who enter. Some apparitions appear dressed in period clothing, reflecting the era in which the house was built, while others are less defined, shadowy forms that vanish when approached. These spectral figures do not usually engage directly with the living, but their presence is unmistakable, creating a sense of unease and curiosity in equal measure. Guests often report lingering feelings of being in the presence of someone who is no longer part of the physical world, as if the house itself is alive with memories of the past. Cold spots are another hallmark of the Franklin House's haunting. Sudden drops in temperature are frequently reported in specific rooms, hallways, or even in localized areas without any natural explanation. These chilling pockets of air often appear and disappear without warning, and some visitors have described them as accompanied by a subtle pressure or sensation of being touched by an unseen hand. Cold spots are a common indicator of spiritual presence in paranormal investigations, and in the Franklin House, they seem to mark areas where energy is particularly concentrated or where tragic events may have taken place. Doors opening and closing mysteriously are among the most unnerving aspects of the Franklin house as supernatural activity. Guests have reported both interior and exterior doors moving seemingly on their own, sometimes swinging wide open and other times slamming shut with startling force. These events are unpredictable, adding to the sense of suspense and fear for those inside. Paranormal investigators suggest that the movement of doors may be influenced by residual energy, or perhaps by spirits attempting to make their presence known. Regardless of the cause, the effect is the same. Visitors are confronted with a tangible, inexplicable reminder that the house is not entirely governed by the rules of the living world. The combination of ghostly apparitions, cold spots, and moving doors creates a multi-sensory haunting that is difficult to ignore. Visitors frequently experience a mixture of fear, awe, and curiosity, unable to fully rationalize what they see and feel. The house seems to interact with those inside, responding to their presence and creating moments of intense emotional and physical reaction. Many people report a heightened sense of awareness, as if every creak, shadow, and chill carries meaning, reinforcing the impression that the Franklin house is far more than an ordinary historic home. Paranormal investigators have spent considerable time studying the Franklin house, documenting its unexplained activity through audio and video equipment. Recordings often capture fleeting whispers, unexplained footsteps, and occasional visual anomalies, such as shadowy movements or indistinct figures on camera. Investigators also report sudden drops in temperature and the sensation of being observed, even in areas where no one else is present. These consistent reports over time suggest that the Franklin house is a genuine site of supernatural activity, with phenomena that continue to challenge the understanding of both researchers and casual visitors. The emotional impact of spending time in the Franklin house is profound. Guests often describe an overwhelming sense of the past pressing against the present, a mix of melancholy, tension, and fascination that lingers long after leaving. Even those who are initially skeptical find themselves affected by the house's presence, feeling the weight of history and the echoes of the spirits said to inhabit the space. Each creaking floorboard, sudden chill, and fleeting apparition reinforces the sense that the house is alive with energy and memory, and that it holds stories waiting to be witnessed. Ultimately, the Franklin house is more than just a historic Victorian home. It is a vessel for memory, energy, and the unexplained, a place where the past and the present coexist in ways that are both eerie and captivating. The ghostly apparitions, cold spots, and mysterious door movements all serve as reminders that the house's history is never truly gone. For those who step inside, the Franklin house offers an immersive encounter with the unknown, leaving a lasting impression of fear, curiosity, and respect for the lingering spirits that continue to inhabit its walls. The Blue House in Atchison, Kansas, stands as a striking, yet eerie, landmark whose exterior belies the dark history contained within its walls. Once a home to a family whose lives were marked by mysterious deaths, the house has become synonymous with paranormal activity. Over the decades, visitors and locals alike have reported shadowy figures moving through its rooms, objects levitating without explanation, and ghostly whispers that seem to drift through the air. These phenomena have made the Blue House a focal point for those fascinated by the supernatural, a place where the boundary between the living and the unseen seems remarkably thin. The history of the Blue House is as unsettling as the reports of hauntings it has inspired. Constructed in the late 19th century, the home was intended to shelter a prosperous family who lived there for several generations. However, the house's history is marred by a series of untimely and mysterious deaths. The circumstances surrounding these deaths are often unclear, but accounts suggest that some family members perished suddenly or under conditions that defy simple explanation. Over time, these tragedies are believed to have left a lingering energy within the home, a weight of sorrow and unresolved events that seems to permeate every corner of the building. Visitors to the Blue House often describe an immediate sense of tension and unease upon entering. The air inside feels heavy, almost charged, as though the walls themselves retain the memory of past events. Even in well-lit rooms, shadows appear to cling unnaturally to corners, creating a sense of being watched. Hallways stretch longer than expected. And ordinary noises, the creak of floorboards, or the rustle of wind against windows are amplified, adding to the unnerving atmosphere. Many who enter report a subtle but constant feeling of presence, an awareness that they are not alone. Even in rooms that appear empty, shadowy figures are among the most commonly reported phenomena in the Blue House. Witnesses describe seeing dark, human-like shapes gliding silently through hallways or lingering near doorways. These shadows are often fleeting, vanishing as quickly as they appear, but their presence leaves a lasting impression. Some observers report that the shadows seem to watch them, moving in ways that suggest awareness, as if the spirits are observing the living. Others have seen figures standing at the top of staircases or behind furniture, disappearing when approached. These encounters evoke a sense of dread and fascination, blurring the line between the natural and the supernatural. Objects levitating or moving on their own are another hallmark of the Blue House. Guests have reported small items, books, utensils, or trinkets being lifted from tables and floating through the air before settling back down. Larger objects, such as chairs or lamps, have been observed shifting positions without human intervention. These occurrences are unpredictable and often coincide with other paranormal activity, such as shadowy movements or sudden temperature changes. The levitation of objects creates an immediate and tangible sense of unease, reinforcing the idea that the house is influenced by unseen forces. Ghostly whispers add a chilling auditory layer to the haunting of the Blue House. Visitors often hear soft, indistinct murmurs echoing through empty rooms or hallways. These whispers are sometimes interpreted as fragments of conversation, calling out names or repeating phrases that are impossible to understand. The voices are fleeting yet persistent, sometimes following individuals as they move from room to room. The effect is deeply unsettling, creating a sense that the spirits are attempting to communicate with the living or perhaps reliving moments from their past. The combination of shadowy figures, levitating objects, and ghostly whispers creates a layered, immersive haunting that is difficult to ignore. Visitors frequently report heightened anxiety, a sense of vulnerability, and the unnerving feeling that the house itself is alive in some way. The phenomena overlap and intensify one another, leaving witnesses with the impression that the house is not merely a physical structure, but a vessel for lingering energy and unresolved histories. Even skeptics often find themselves questioning their own perceptions when confronted with such consistent and vivid experiences. Paranormal investigators have documented the Blue House extensively, using audio, video, and environmental monitoring equipment to capture its unexplained activity. Recordings frequently pick up faint whispers or murmurs, while video sometimes shows objects moving without cause or shadows flitting across rooms. Temperature sensors occasionally detect sudden drops, reinforcing reports of cold spots and chilling sensations felt by those inside. Investigators consistently note that these occurrences are concentrated in areas associated with the family's tragedies, suggesting a link between past events and ongoing paranormal manifestations. The emotional impact of entering the Blue House is profound. Guests often describe a combination of fear, curiosity, and sorrow. The house's dark history, combined with its persistent supernatural activity, creates an atmosphere that is both haunting and captivating. Many report feeling a connection to the past occupants, sensing the weight of their experiences and the unresolved nature of their deaths. This mixture of empathy, fascination, and dread makes the Blue House an unforgettable location, leaving a lasting impression on all who enter. Over time, the Blue House has become a symbol of Kansas's haunted history. Its reputation is built on both documented phenomena and local legend, a combination that continues to draw visitors, historians, and paranormal enthusiasts. Every shadow, every levitating object, and every whispered voice contributes to the house's ongoing narrative, reinforcing its status as a site where the past is never truly gone. The Blue House stands as a reminder that some places hold the memory of those who lived and died within them, and that the energy of these lives can persist long after the physical presence is gone. For those brave enough to step inside, the Blue House offers an encounter with the unknown that is as terrifying as it is compelling. The shifting shadows, levitating objects, and ghostly whispers create an immersive experience in which the boundaries between history, memory, and the supernatural blur. The house is more than a building. It is a living testament to the past, a place where the mysteries of life and death continue to manifest, ensuring that the legend of the Blue House remains alive for generations to come. The Wilson House in Kansas City, Kansas, is a historic home shrouded in mystery and renowned for its long-standing reputation for paranormal activity. For decades, residents and visitors have reported unexplained events, making the house a focal point for those fascinated by the supernatural. Apparitions moving silently through hallways, footsteps echoing in empty rooms, and objects shifting without explanation have all been documented, creating an eerie atmosphere that has captivated local folklore and paranormal enthusiasts alike. The Wilson House stands as a testament to the idea that some places carry a history that refuses to remain buried, and that the past often leaves traces that the living can feel and witness. The history of the Wilson House is intertwined with the many generations who have called it home. Constructed in the late 19th century, it was initially a symbol of domestic stability and prosperity. Yet, over the decades, numerous residents reported strange occurrences that could not be easily explained. While the exact origins of the hauntings remain unclear, the accumulation of unsettling events has created an environment where the unexplained has become commonplace. Sudden deaths, unexplained illnesses, and tragic accidents among former occupants are said to have left behind a lingering energy, manifesting as the paranormal activity reported to this day. Visitors to the Wilson House often describe an immediate sense of unease when stepping through its doors. The air inside feels charged, as if heavy with memories of past lives and lingering emotions. Shadows seem to stretch longer than they should, and the silence of empty rooms can be punctuated by faint noises that are difficult to identify. Guests frequently report the sensation of being watched, a feeling that intensifies as they move from room to room. This underlying tension is compounded by the physical presence of the house itself, the creaking floorboards, the subtle sway of doors and their frames, and the faint whisper of drafts moving through hallways, all of which seem to amplify the sense that something unseen resides within the home. One of the most commonly reported phenomena in the Wilson House is the appearance of ghostly apparitions. Visitors often describe seeing faint, translucent figures gliding silently through hallways, standing at the top of staircases, or peering from doorways before vanishing without a trace. Some apparitions appear to resemble former residents, dressed in period clothing reflective of the era in which the house was first occupied. Others are more amorphous, shadowy shapes that seem to shift with the ambient light. Witnesses frequently note that these figures do not interact directly with the living, yet their presence is undeniable, evoking both fear and fascination. The apparitions contribute to the sense that the Wilson House is a living repository of history, memory, and emotion. Footsteps and empty rooms are another hallmark of the Wilson House's haunting. Guests often report hearing slow, deliberate steps following them along hallways or echoing from upper floors, even when no one else is present. At times, the footsteps seem to correspond with the rhythm of a former resident moving through their daily routine, while at other moments, they appear random and unsettling, creating a feeling of constant surveillance. These sounds are particularly disorienting because they are audible yet lack a visible source, heightening the tension for those inside and reinforcing the idea that the house is inhabited by unseen forces. Objects moving on their own add a tangible, sometimes startling, dimension to the Wilson House hauntings. Visitors have recounted small items, such as books or personal belongings, shifting across surfaces, disappearing from one room only to reappear in another, or even larger objects like chairs or lamps moving subtly. These events often occur alongside other phenomena, such as the appearance of apparitions or the sound of footsteps, creating a multi-layered haunting that is difficult to rationalize. Witnesses frequently describe the combination of visual, auditory, and physical anomalies as overwhelming, making it impossible to ignore the presence of something beyond the natural world. The cumulative effect of these phenomena creates an immersive environment in the Wilson house. Guests often experience a mixture of fear, fascination, and awe, feeling the weight of the home's history and the energy left behind by its former occupants. Even skeptics who enter expecting rational explanations find themselves questioning their perceptions, as the consistency and intensity of the reports defy easy dismissal. The interplay of shadows, sounds, and movement ensures that every visit is a unique encounter with the unexplained, one that lingers in memory long after leaving. Paranormal investigations conducted at the Wilson House have documented a variety of phenomena. Audio recordings capture faint footsteps and whispers, often in areas that appear empty, while video footage occasionally reveals objects moving independently or shadowy figures passing through rooms. Environmental sensors have detected sudden temperature drops in specific locations, coinciding with reports of apparitions or audible footsteps. Investigators often describe the sensation of being watched or feeling a presence close by, even in rooms where no other living person is present. These experiences support the notion that the Wilson House remains a locus of unexplained activity, one that continues to intrigue and frighten those who study it. The emotional impact of entering the Wilson House is profound. Visitors frequently describe a sense of tension, a feeling of vulnerability, and a heightened awareness of their surroundings. The house's long history, coupled with its persistent paranormal activity, creates an environment that is as psychologically compelling as it is frightening. Many report a lingering sense of sadness or empathy for the spirits that remain, while others experience sharp moments of fear when confronted by sudden movements, unexplained sounds, or fleeting apparitions. This combination of emotions makes the Wilson House a memorable and unnerving location for anyone who enters. Over time, the Wilson House has become a symbol of Kansas City's haunted legacy. Its long history of reported hauntings, combined with the enduring stories passed down by visitors and locals, ensures that the home remains a point of fascination for those drawn to the unexplained. Every apparition, every footstep, and every moving object contributes to the ongoing narrative of the Wilson House, creating a place where history, tragedy, and the supernatural converge. For those willing to step inside, the Wilson House offers an unforgettable encounter with the unknown. The ghostly apparitions, unexplained footsteps, and objects moving without cause create an immersive experience where the past is never truly gone. The house is more than a structure. It is a vessel for memory, emotion, and the lingering presence of those who once called it home, ensuring that its legend will continue to intrigue and haunt for generations to come. Oak Hill Manor in Topeka, Kansas, is a historic mansion whose grand exterior hides a dark and unsettling past. Built in the 19th century, the manor was once a symbol of wealth and refinement, with its sweeping staircases, ornate moldings, and expansive rooms. Over time, however, the mansion became known not for its beauty, but for the numerous reports of paranormal activity that have plagued it for decades. Visitors and locals alike have recounted experiences with shadowy figures, ghostly moans echoing through empty halls, and sudden cold spots that defy explanation. These accounts have made Oak Hill Manor a magnet for those intrigued by the supernatural, a place where the echoes of the past refuse to remain silent. The history of Oak Hill Manor is intertwined with tragedy and mystery. While records confirm the home's construction and its prominence in Topeka society, local stories tell of deaths, misfortune, and suffering among its residents. Some accounts speak of sudden illnesses, fatal accidents, and even unexplained disappearances that occurred within the walls of the mansion. Over time, these events are believed to have left an imprint on the home, an energy that continues to manifest as paranormal activity. Many visitors report that walking through Oak Hill Manor feels like stepping into a place where the past is still very much alive. Its lingering presence, both palpable and unnerving. From the moment one approaches the mansion, there is a sense of foreboding. The exterior, though stately, seems to exude a quiet tension. Windows appear darker than normal, and the surrounding grounds often feel eerily still. Inside, the effect intensifies. Hallways stretch into shadowy recesses. Rooms seem larger than they appear on the surface, and every creak or groan of the floorboards is amplified, creating an environment charged with unease. Visitors consistently report the sensation of being observed, an awareness that unseen eyes are tracking their every movement through the house. Shadowy figures are among the most commonly reported manifestations within Oak Hill Manor. Witnesses describe dark human-like shapes moving silently through corridors, lingering near doorways, or appearing at the edges of their vision. Some figures seem fully formed, appearing as faintly translucent versions of past residents, while others are more amorphous, flickering in and out of perception like living shadows. These apparitions rarely interact directly with those present, but their presence is unmistakable. Guests often report feeling watched or followed by these shapes, leaving an enduring impression of being in the company of something unseen and ancient. Ghostly moans and whispers add a haunting auditory dimension to the manor. Visitors have recounted hearing low, mournful sounds echoing through empty rooms and long hallways. The moans often rise and fall without pattern, as though expressing sorrow, anger, or a lingering pain that refuses to dissipate. Whispers sometimes accompany these sounds, faint fragments of conversation that cannot be fully understood but seem almost human in origin. These auditory phenomena contribute to a sense of emotional weight, making guests acutely aware of the mansion's troubled past and the lingering presence of those who suffered within it. Cold spots are another hallmark of Oak Hill Manor's paranormal activity. Sudden, localized drops in temperature are frequently reported, often occurring in conjunction with sightings of shadows or the appearance of ghostly moans. Visitors describe the chill as sharp and penetrating, sometimes enveloping only part of a room or following them as they move through the house. These cold spots are a classic indicator of spiritual presence in paranormal investigations, suggesting that the mansion is saturated with energy left behind by past residents and events. Many who experience them report feeling both fear and awe, as the sensation is simultaneously physical and unexplainable. The combination of shadows, ghostly moans, and cold spots creates an immersive haunting that is difficult to ignore. Visitors often describe a mixture of dread and fascination as they move through Oak Hill Manor. Even skeptics find themselves questioning their perceptions, as the phenomena are consistent, persistent, and emotionally impactful. The layering of visual, auditory, and tactile experiences ensures that the mansion is not merely haunted in theory, but palpably alive with the echoes of its dark history. Each step, each glance into a shadowed corner, seems to carry with it a connection to the lives and tragedies that have occurred there. Paranormal investigators have spent years documenting the activity in Oak Hill Manor. Audio recordings often capture faint moans or whispers, while video sometimes reveals fleeting shadows or unexplained movements of objects. Environmental sensors detect sudden temperature drops, aligning with reported cold spots. Investigators frequently report the sensation of being observed, or the unnerving impression that something unseen is moving just beyond their vision. These findings lend credibility to the idea that Oak Hill Manor is more than just a historic building. It is a living repository of energy, memory, and unresolved emotion. The emotional impact of visiting Oak Hill Manor is significant. Guests often leave feeling a mixture of fear, sadness, and awe. Many describe a lingering sense of melancholy, as though the house itself bears the weight of the lives lost within its walls. Others experience moments of genuine terror, confronted by the simultaneous presence of shadows, moans, and sudden cold spots. This combination of emotional and sensory experiences makes a visit unforgettable, leaving a lasting impression of a place where the past refuses to remain buried and the supernatural is undeniably present. Over time, Oak Hill Manor has become a symbol of Topeka's haunted history. Its dark past, combined with consistent reports of unexplained activity, ensures that it continues to attract attention from paranormal enthusiasts and those drawn to the mysteries of the unknown. Every shadow, every ghostly moan, and every sudden chill contributes to the narrative of Oak Hill Manor, reinforcing its status as a place where history, tragedy, and the supernatural converge. For anyone willing to step inside, Oak Hill Manor offers an encounter with the unknown that is both chilling and compelling. The shadows that flicker in corners, the mournful sounds that drift through empty rooms, and the penetrating cold that seems to follow visitors all serve as reminders that the mansion is not merely a structure of wood and stone, but a vessel of history, memory, and lingering spirits. It is a place where the past is never truly gone, and where the echoes of tragedy continue to shape the present. The McKinley House in Lawrence, Kansas, is a historic home built in the 1800s, whose elegant architecture conceals a dark and tragic past. Over the years, the house has become infamous among locals and paranormal enthusiasts for the unexplained phenomena reported within its walls. Accounts of doors slamming shut on their own, shadowy figures moving through hallways, and strange pockets of cold that seem to defy explanation have made the McKinley House one of the most haunted homes in the region. Its history, combined with persistent supernatural activity, creates an atmosphere that is both fascinating and deeply unsettling. The history of the McKinley House is intertwined with multiple tragic events that occurred over generations. While it initially served as a residence for a prosperous family, stories of untimely deaths, sudden illnesses, and unexplained accidents began to accumulate over time. Each tragedy seemed to leave a mark on the home, contributing to the persistent reports of haunting. Residents and visitors alike claim that the emotional weight of these past events lingers, manifesting as paranormal activity that is both visible and tangible. Over the decades, these experiences have drawn the attention of ghost hunters, historians, and curious individuals seeking to uncover the mysteries that the McKinley House holds. Visitors often describe a palpable sense of unease the moment they step through the front doors. The interior of the house carries a tension that is difficult to ignore, as if every wall, staircase, and hallway holds memories of past events. Shadows seem to linger in corners longer than they should, and the air feels charged, heavy with a presence that cannot be seen but is unmistakably felt. Many people report an unsettling feeling of being watched, a sensation that grows as they explore the home. The combination of architectural grandeur and an oppressive atmosphere makes the McKinley House a uniquely haunting environment. One of the most frequently reported phenomena in the McKinley House is doors slamming without explanation. Visitors have recounted hearing doors burst open or shut violently, often in areas where no one else is present. These events can happen suddenly, startling guests and leaving them questioning whether someone or something is moving through the house unseen. The slamming of doors is often accompanied by a shift in the atmosphere, such as a sudden chill or the sensation of being pushed or guided. For many, these occurrences create an immediate sense of vulnerability, as though the house itself is alive, responding to those who enter. Shadow figures are another hallmark of the McKinley House's haunting. Witnesses describe seeing dark, human-like silhouettes move silently across rooms or stand in doorways before vanishing. These figures are often fleeting, visible only in the corner of the eye, yet their presence leaves a strong impression. Some appear to resemble former residents of the house, while others are indistinct, shrouded in darkness. The figures rarely interact with the living, but the sensation of being observed is undeniable. Guests frequently describe a feeling of tension building when these shadows appear, as if the unseen observers are aware of their presence and watching their every move. Strange cold pockets are another defining feature of the McKinley House haunting. Sudden drops in temperature occur in isolated areas, often without any apparent cause. Visitors have reported feeling a chill envelop them in specific rooms, hallways, or even at the top of staircases. Sometimes these cold spots coincide with other paranormal activity, such as doors slamming or shadow figures appearing, suggesting a connection between the physical sensations and the presence of lingering energy. The cold is often described as intense and penetrating, leaving a lasting impression that heightens the sense of fear and mystery. The combination of slamming doors, shadowy figures, and cold pockets creates a multi-layered haunting that is difficult to ignore. Visitors frequently report a mixture of fear, curiosity, and awe as they navigate the house, unable to rationalize what they see and feel. Even skeptics find themselves questioning their perceptions, as the consistency and intensity of these occurrences are difficult to explain through conventional means. The McKinley house seems to respond to its occupants, creating an environment where the past and present coexist in unnerving ways. Paranormal investigations of the McKinley house have documented numerous anomalies. Audio recordings capture faint footsteps, creaks, and, occasionally, muffled voices. Video footage sometimes reveals fleeting shadows or objects moving slightly, without cause. Environmental sensors detect sudden drops in temperature that coincide with reported cold spots. Investigators also describe the sensation of being watched, even in rooms where no one else is present, and reports an almost tangible tension in the atmosphere. These findings reinforce the idea that the McKinley house is more than just a historic building. It is a site where residual energy and unresolved history manifest in ways that challenge understanding. The emotional impact of entering the McKinley house is profound. Guests often leave feeling a mix of fear, awe, and sadness. The lingering sense of tragedy and unresolved energy makes visitors acutely aware of the home's dark history. Many describe the experience as immersive, with every creak of a floorboard, sudden chill, and fleeting shadow reinforcing the impression that the house is alive in some way. The McKinley house offers a unique encounter with the unknown, leaving a lasting impression on those who enter. Over time, the McKinley house has become a symbol of Lawrence's haunted history. Its long-standing reputation, combined with the consistent reports of doors slamming, shadowy figures, and strange cold pockets, ensures that it continues to attract attention from those intrigued by the paranormal. Every sighting, every unexplained movement, and every sudden drop in temperature contributes to the enduring legend of the house, a place where history, tragedy, and the supernatural intersect. For anyone brave enough to step inside, the McKinley house offers an encounter with forces that remain beyond comprehension. Doors that slam without cause, shadows that move silently through hallways, and cold pockets that chill to the bone all serve as reminders that the past is never truly gone. The house stands as a testament to the lingering presence of those who came before, ensuring that its haunting legacy will continue to intrigue and terrify for generations to come. The Abbott House in Wichita, Kansas, is a 19th-century home whose stately design conceals a long history of unsettling occurrences. Built during a time when Wichita was rapidly developing, the house was initially a symbol of comfort and prosperity for its original occupants. Over the decades, however, it has become known not for its architecture, but for the persistent reports of paranormal activity that continue to haunt the property. Visitors and locals alike have described encounters with ghostly apparitions, unexplained noises echoing through empty rooms, and sudden chills that seem to come from nowhere. These experiences have earned the Abbott House a reputation as one of Wichita's most haunted homes, drawing paranormal enthusiasts, historians, and the curious to explore its mysterious past. The history of the Abbott House is intertwined with the families who lived there over generations. While the details of its early occupants are partially lost to time, local accounts suggest that the home was the scene of multiple tragedies, sudden deaths, and personal misfortunes. These events, though separated by decades, have contributed to a lingering energy within the home. Residents and visitors consistently report that the atmosphere inside the Abbott House feels charged, as though the memories and emotions of past occupants remain tied to the building itself. The combination of historical significance and persistent paranormal activity makes the Abbott House a uniquely haunting location. Upon entering the Abbott House, visitors often experience an immediate sense of unease. The air feels heavy, as though it carries the weight of unseen presences. Hallways seem longer than expected, and shadows stretch unnaturally across the walls. Many guests report the sensation of being watched, a feeling that intensifies as they explore the home. Even when the house is quiet, small noises, creaking floorboards, the distant rustle of curtains, or faint knocking can feel amplified. creating an atmosphere that is both tense and mysterious. This sense of being observed is a recurring element in accounts of the Abbott House and contributes to its reputation as a haunted location. One of the most frequently reported phenomena at the Abbott House is the appearance of ghostly apparitions. Visitors describe seeing faint, translucent figures gliding silently through hallways, standing at the top of staircases, or lingering near doorways. Some apparitions are said to resemble former residents of the home, dressed in period clothing consistent with the 19th century, while others appear as shadowy, indistinct shapes that seem to move just beyond the edge of perception. These figures rarely interact directly with visitors, but their presence is unmistakable. Many guests report feeling a sudden drop in temperature or an inexplicable sense of tension when these apparitions appear, reinforcing the notion that the house is not empty, but alive with residual energy. Unexplained noises are another hallmark of the Abbott House haunting. Guests often hear footsteps echoing in rooms that are otherwise empty, doors opening and closing without cause, and soft murmurs or whispers that cannot be traced to any living source. At times, these sounds appear random, but other times they seem to follow a pattern, as though recreating the daily routines of former residents. Many visitors describe a combination of curiosity and fear when confronted with these sounds, unable to determine whether they are the result of imagination or a genuine supernatural presence. The persistence of these auditory phenomena over decades has made them a defining feature of the Abbott House's reputation. Sudden chills are also commonly reported within the home. Visitors frequently feel sharp drops in temperature that seem to follow them from room to room. These cold spots are often localized, enveloping a single area or even just one person, creating a physical sensation that is both startling and undeniable. Some report feeling a subtle pressure in conjunction with the chill, as if an unseen hand has brushed past them. Cold spots in the Abbott House often coincide with the appearance of apparitions or unexplained noises, suggesting a link between physical sensations and the lingering energy of past events. The combination of ghostly apparitions, mysterious sounds, and sudden chills creates a multi-layered haunting that is difficult to ignore. Guests often describe a mixture of fear, awe, and fascination while exploring the Abbott House. Even skeptics find themselves questioning their perceptions, as the consistency and intensity of the phenomena challenge conventional explanations. The house seems to interact with its occupants in subtle, sometimes disconcerting ways, creating an experience that is immersive, emotional, and unforgettable. Paranormal investigators have documented the Abbott House extensively, using audio and video equipment to capture its unexplained activity. Recordings frequently reveal faint whispers, footsteps, and other sounds with no apparent source. Video footage occasionally captures shadows moving independently, or figures that cannot be explained by natural light or reflections. Temperature sensors often detect sudden drops corresponding with reported cold spots. Investigators also describe the sensation of being watched or feeling a presence in the room, even when no one else is present. These documented anomalies reinforce the idea that the Abbott House is more than just an old home. It is a vessel of energy, memory, and unresolved events. The emotional impact of visiting the Abbott House is profound. Guests often leave with lingering feelings of unease, heightened awareness, and an uncanny sense of connection to the past. Some describe moments of empathy for the spirits who remain, sensing the weight of their presence and the unresolved history of the home. Others report sudden fear when confronted by apparitions, noises, or cold spots, emphasizing the intensity of the experience. The combination of historical significance and paranormal activity makes a visit to the Abbott House both compelling and unforgettable. Over the years, the Abbott House has become a symbol of Wichita's haunted heritage. Its history, combined with decades of consistent reports of paranormal phenomena, ensures that it remains a focal point for those interested in the supernatural. Every apparition, every unexplained sound, and every sudden chill contributes to the story of the house, reinforcing its reputation as a place where the past is never truly gone. For anyone daring enough to step inside, the Abbott House offers a chilling encounter with the unknown. The ghostly apparitions, unexplained noises, and sudden cold pockets serve as constant reminders that the house is more than a physical structure, is a living testament to history, memory, and the lingering presence of those who once called it home. The Abbott House remains a place where the supernatural and historical intersect, ensuring that its legend continues to captivate and haunt all who enter. The Gardner House in Kansas City, Kansas, is a historic home known for its tragic past and enduring reputation for paranormal activity. Built in the 19th century, the house was once a proud residence, its architecture reflecting the elegance and style of its era. Over time, however, the Gardner House became a site associated with misfortune and sorrow, witnessing a series of deaths and personal tragedies that have left an indelible mark on the property. Today, the home is not only remembered for its history, but also for the unexplained phenomena reported by visitors, including cold drafts that chill the bones, objects moving without explanation, and whispers echoing through empty rooms. These experiences have made the Gardner House a focal point for paranormal enthusiasts and those drawn to the eerie mysteries of the past. The history of the Gardner House is intertwined with decades of misfortune. While the specifics of each event may be partially lost to time, local accounts suggest that families who resided there often experienced untimely deaths, sudden illnesses, and personal tragedies. The accumulation of these events has contributed to a lingering presence, an energy that some believe refuses to leave the home. Residents and visitors frequently report an overwhelming sense of sorrow, as if the walls themselves carry the memory of the lives lost within them. Over the years, this dark history has created a foundation for the persistent paranormal activity that continues to draw attention today. Visitors to the Gardner House often describe an immediate sense of unease upon entering. The air feels heavy, carrying a tension that is difficult to define. Hallways appear longer than they should, and shadows cling to corners in ways that make the space seem alive. Many guests report the feeling of being watched, as though unseen eyes are following their every movement. Even in quiet rooms, small sounds, a floorboard creaking, a door softly rattling, or the faint rustle of curtains are amplified, creating a disorienting and unnerving atmosphere. This combination of historical weight and supernatural presence makes the Gardner House an unforgettable location for those who enter its doors. Cold drafts are among the most frequently reported phenomena within the home. Visitors often experience sudden drops in temperature, sometimes localized to a single room or even a specific area within a room. These chills can be sudden and intense, leaving guests shivering despite the warmth of the day or the season outside. Many report that these cold spots seem to follow them, appearing as they move through hallways or approach particular areas of the house. The sensation is often accompanied by an almost tangible pressure, as if invisible hands are brushing past them. These cold drafts create a physical reminder of the house's lingering energy and contribute to the sense that the past is never truly gone. Another hallmark of the Gardner House haunting is the movement of objects without explanation. Guests have reported seeing small items, books, utensils, or trinkets shift across tables, fall to the floor, or even disappear and reappear elsewhere. Larger objects, such as chairs or lamps, have occasionally been observed, moving slightly as if nudged by an unseen presence. These occurrences often happen in conjunction with other phenomena, such as sudden cold drafts or whispers, creating a multi-layered haunting that is both tangible and disconcerting. Witnesses frequently describe the experience as both terrifying and fascinating, unable to reconcile what they see with the physical laws of the world. Whispers in empty rooms add a chilling auditory dimension to the haunting. Visitors frequently hear soft murmurs, indistinct voices, or phrases spoken in a language that cannot be understood. These sounds often seem to follow the listener from room to room, appearing in spaces that are otherwise unoccupied. Some describe the whispers as fleeting, vanishing when they attempt to focus on them, while others report hearing them for extended periods. The effect is profoundly unsettling, reinforcing the notion that the Gardner House is alive with the presence of those who have long since passed. The combination of cold drafts, moving objects, and whispers creates an immersive and unsettling experience. Visitors often describe a mixture of fear, curiosity, and awe, finding themselves unable to leave the sensations behind even after they exit the house. Even skeptics frequently question their perceptions, as the consistency and intensity of the phenomena defy easy explanation. The Gardner house seems to engage with its occupants, responding to their presence in ways that are both subtle and overt, leaving a lasting impression on anyone who enters. Paranormal investigators have documented numerous anomalies at the Gardner house. Audio recordings frequently capture whispers and faint noises, while video footage sometimes reveals objects moving independently or shadows appearing in peripheral vision. Environmental sensors have detected sudden temperature drops that coincide with reported cold drafts, lending credibility to the accounts of visitors. Investigators often report the sensation of being observed or a sense of tension in areas where no one else is present. These findings reinforce the idea that the Gardner house is more than just a historic structure. It is a vessel for residual energy, memory, and unresolved history. The emotional impact of visiting the Gardner house is profound. Guests often leave feeling a combination of fear, awe, and melancholy. The lingering sense of tragedy and the tangible presence of the past make visitors acutely aware of the house's dark history. Some report an overwhelming empathy for the spirits that remain, sensing their sorrow and unfinished business. Others experience moments of genuine terror when confronted with moving objects, sudden chills, or whispers in empty rooms. This complex mixture of emotions makes the Gardner house an unforgettable and deeply affecting experience. Over time, the Gardner house has become a symbol of Kansas City's haunted history. Its tragic past, combined with decades of consistent reports of paranormal activity, ensures that it continues to captivate the imagination of those interested in the unknown. Every cold draft, every moving object, and every whispered voice adds to the story of the house, creating a place where history, tragedy, and the supernatural converge. For anyone willing to step inside, the Gardner house offers a chilling encounter with forces beyond comprehension. The cold drafts that cut through rooms, the objects that shift without cause, and the whispers that fill empty spaces all serve as reminders that the house is not merely a physical structure. It is a repository of memory, emotion, and lingering spirits. A place where the past continues to shape the present and where the echoes of tragedy remain ever present. Ravenwood House in Atchison, Kansas, is a historic home steeped in mystery and notorious for decades of unexplained events. Though its architecture reflects the elegance of the era in which it was built, the house is far more renowned for the paranormal activity reported within its walls than for its design. Visitors and locals alike have recounted ghostly sightings, strange noises, and an ever-present feeling of being watched. These reports have made Ravenwood House a focal point for those intrigued by the supernatural, a place where the past seems to linger and the unseen is never far away. The history of Ravenwood House is intertwined with stories of tragedy, misfortune, and unexplained occurrences. While records confirm the house's age and its succession of residents, local legend paints a darker picture, filled with tales of untimely deaths, sudden illnesses, and personal misadventures. Over time, the accumulation of these events is believed to have left a lingering energy within the home, a residual presence that manifests as paranormal activity. Residents, historians, and visitors alike report that entering Ravenwood House is like stepping into a space where time and memory converge, and where the boundaries between the living and the spectral are blurred. Visitors to the house frequently describe an immediate sense of unease upon crossing the threshold. The air inside feels heavy, thick with a presence that cannot be seen but is undeniably felt. Hallways stretch into shadowy recesses, and even well-lit rooms seem to harbor hidden corners where darkness clings unnaturally. Guests often report an overwhelming feeling of being watched, a sensation that grows stronger as they move deeper into the house, even in complete silence. Ordinary sounds, creaking floorboards, the subtle shift of a curtain, or the faint groan of old wood take on an eerie quality, heightening the sense that the house is alive with unseen activity. Ghost sightings are among the most commonly reported phenomena in Ravenwood House. Visitors have described fleeting figures moving silently through corridors, standing at the top of staircases, or lingering in doorways before vanishing without a trace. Some apparitions appear as translucent figures resembling past residents, dressed in clothing reflective of the time periods in which they lived. Others are shadowy, indistinct shapes that flicker at the edge of perception. These figures rarely interact directly with the living, but their presence is unmistakable. Witnesses often report a sudden chill, a sense of tension, or a feeling of being observed when these apparitions appear, reinforcing the house's reputation as a site of genuine supernatural activity. Strange noises are another hallmark of the haunting. Guests frequently hear footsteps echoing through empty rooms, doors opening and closing on their own, and soft murmurs that seem to emanate from nowhere. These sounds often occur in patterns that suggest movement or activity, yet no living person can be found. Visitors report that the noises can be disorienting, sometimes appearing behind them or above them in attics and stairwells. The persistence of these auditory phenomena over decades has solidified the house's reputation as a location where the unseen makes its presence known. The pervasive feeling of being watched is perhaps the most unsettling aspect of Ravenwood House. Guests often describe a sensation that follows them through hallways, across rooms, and even from floor to floor. This feeling is accompanied by a heightened sense of awareness, making every shadow, creak, or flicker of light feel significant. Some visitors claim that the sensation is almost physical, a weight pressing against their back or shoulders as they move through the house. Others experience sudden bouts of anxiety, as if the spirits of the past are aware of their presence and are observing their every action. The combination of ghost sightings, strange noises, and the sensation of being watched creates a multi-layered haunting that is difficult to ignore. Visitors often experience a mixture of fear, fascination, and awe, unable to reconcile what they see and feel with the ordinary world. Even skeptics report moments of doubt and unease, as the phenomena at Ravenwood House are consistent, intense, and difficult to dismiss. The house seems to interact with its occupants, responding subtly to their presence, and creating an immersive experience that is as psychological as it is supernatural. Paranormal investigators have spent significant time documenting activity at Ravenwood House. Audio recordings often capture unexplained footsteps, whispers, and soft moans, while video footage occasionally reveals fleeting shadows or figures moving through rooms. Environmental sensors have detected sudden drops in temperature, coinciding with moments of heightened activity or ghostly sightings. Investigators frequently report the sensation of being watched, a pressure in the air, or a sense that the house itself is aware of their presence. These findings lend credibility to the notion that Ravenwood House is more than a historic building. It is a repository for lingering energy and unresolved histories. The emotional impact of visiting Ravenwood House is profound. Guests leave with a lingering sense of unease, heightened awareness, and a profound connection to the home's past. Some describe feelings of sorrow or empathy for the spirits said to inhabit the house, sensing the weight of tragedies that occurred there. Others recount moments of terror, confronted by shadows, sudden noises, or an invisible presence that seems to follow them. The combination of emotional intensity, historical resonance, and supernatural activity makes Ravenwood House an unforgettable and immersive experience. Over time, Ravenwood House has become emblematic of Atchison's haunted history. Its long-standing reputation, combined with consistent reports of unexplained activity, ensures that it continues to draw attention from paranormal enthusiasts and those intrigued by the mysteries of the unknown. Every ghostly figure, unexplained sound, and sensation of being watched contributes to the ongoing story of the house, reinforcing its status as a place where the past refuses to remain silent. For those brave enough to step inside, Ravenwood House offers a chilling encounter with the unknown. The ghostly apparitions that move through the hallways, the strange noises that echo through empty rooms, and the ever-present sensation of being watched serve as reminders that the house is far more than a collection of wood and stone. It is a living testament to history, memory, and lingering spirits, a place where the echoes of the past continue to haunt the present and where mysteries remain unsolved. Stonebridge House in Topeka, Kansas, is a grand mansion whose beauty and elegance hide a dark and unsettling history. Built in the late 19th century, the house was designed to showcase wealth and sophistication, with expansive rooms, high ceilings, and intricate architectural details. Yet despite its stately appearance, Stonebridge House is infamous for its paranormal activity. Over the years, visitors and residents have reported countless unexplained occurrences, including apparitions wandering through hallways, doors slamming without cause, and objects levitating as if guided by unseen hands. These events have made the mansion a focal point for those fascinated by the supernatural, a place where the past seems to linger and the boundary between the living and the spectral is thin. The history of Stonebridge House is marked by tragedy and misfortune. While the home originally symbolized prosperity, its past residents experienced numerous untimely deaths, mysterious accidents, and personal hardships. Local lore suggests that these events left behind residual energy, a haunting imprint that manifests as paranormal activity. Over the decades, the mansion has gained a reputation for being a place where spirits remain trapped by unresolved circumstances or lingering attachment to the home. Visitors often remark that Stonebridge House feels alive in a way that transcends its physical presence, with an atmosphere thick with memories of its troubled past. Upon entering Stonebridge House, visitors often feel an immediate shift in the air. The atmosphere is heavy and charged, carrying a weight that is difficult to describe. Even in rooms flooded with sunlight, shadows appear unnaturally long and seem to cling to corners, moving subtly as though alive. Guests frequently report the sensation of being observed, as if unseen eyes are following their movements through hallways and staircases. Ordinary sounds, like the creak of a floorboard or the rustle of curtains in a draft, take on an eerie resonance, amplifying the feeling that the mansion is inhabited by more than just living occupants. One of the most reported phenomena in Stonebridge House is the appearance of ghostly apparitions. Visitors often describe seeing translucent figures moving silently through corridors, lingering near doorways, or standing at the tops of staircases before disappearing. Some apparitions resemble former residents dressed in period clothing, while others are more shadowy and indistinct, flickering in and out of view. These spectral figures rarely interact with visitors directly, yet their presence is unmistakable, evoking both fear and fascination. Guests frequently report feeling sudden chills or a sense of tension when apparitions appear, reinforcing the idea that the mansion is alive with unseen forces. Doors slamming unexpectedly is another hallmark of the Stonebridge House haunting. Guests recount hearing doors burst open or shut violently, often in rooms where no one else is present. These occurrences are sudden and startling, creating an immediate sense of vulnerability. Sometimes the slamming of doors coincides with other paranormal events, such as the appearance of an apparition or the levitation of objects, suggesting a connection between the various phenomena within the mansion. Many visitors describe the experience as disorienting, as if the house itself is reacting to their presence, guiding them through its shadowed halls with unseen intent. Objects levitating or moving on their own add a tangible and unnerving dimension to the haunting. Guests have reported small items, books, utensils, or decorative objects floating in the air or shifting positions without explanation. Larger objects, such as chairs or lamps, have occasionally been observed moving slightly, as if nudged by invisible hands. These events often occur alongside other supernatural activity, creating a multi-layered haunting that engages multiple senses. Witnesses describe these occurrences as both terrifying and mesmerizing, an undeniable sign that the house is more than a mere physical structure. The combination of apparitions, slamming doors, and moving objects creates an immersive experience for visitors. The mansion's atmosphere is charged with tension, and even skeptics find themselves questioning their perceptions as they navigate its rooms. The layering of visual, auditory, and physical phenomena ensures that the haunting of Stonebridge House is felt on multiple levels, leaving guests with a lasting impression of mystery and unease. Every creak, flicker of shadow, and sudden movement reinforces the sense that the house holds a presence that cannot be explained by ordinary means. Paranormal investigators have documented Stonebridge House extensively. Audio recordings frequently capture footsteps, creaks, and faint whispers, while video sometimes reveals objects moving independently or shadowy figures passing through rooms. Environmental sensors often detect sudden temperature drops, aligning with reports of ghostly activity. Investigators also describe the sensation of being watched, even in rooms where no other person is present, and sometimes experience the feeling of a guiding presence, as though the house itself is communicating through its activity. These findings reinforce the notion that Stonebridge House is a location where residual energy from past events continues to manifest in tangible ways. The emotional impact of visiting Stonebridge House is profound. Guests often leave with a lingering sense of unease, heightened awareness, and an acute connection to the home's troubled history. Many report feelings of empathy or sorrow for the spirits believed to inhabit the mansion, sensing the weight of past tragedies. Others recount moments of intense fear, confronted by apparitions, moving objects, or sudden slamming doors. This combination of emotion, history, and paranormal activity ensures that Stonebridge House remains a memorable and haunting experience for all who enter. Over time, Stonebridge House has become emblematic of Topeka's haunted history. Its dark past and consistent reports of unexplained phenomena have made it a magnet for those interested in the paranormal. Every apparition, slamming door, and levitating object contributes to the mansion's ongoing legend, reinforcing its reputation as a place where the past refuses to remain silent. Stonebridge House stands as a testament to the lingering presence of history, memory, and the unexplained. A location where the boundary between the living and the spectral is remarkably thin. For anyone willing to step inside, Stonebridge House offers a chilling encounter with forces beyond comprehension. The apparitions that drift through hallways, the doors that slam without cause, and the objects that move, seemingly on their own, all serve as reminders that the mansion is more than a physical structure. It is a living repository of memory and energy, a place where the echoes of the past continue to shape the present, ensuring that the legend of Stonebridge House endures for generations to come. Willow Creek House in Lawrence, Kansas, is a historic residence whose reputation has been shaped as much by tragedy as by its imposing architecture. Known for a series of untimely family deaths and decades of unexplained events, the house has become a focal point for paranormal enthusiasts and local legends. Visitors and residents alike report a variety of eerie phenomena, including shadows moving independently of light, whispers echoing through empty rooms, and strange cold areas that seem to defy the natural flow of air. These reports have cemented Willow Creek House as one of the most haunted locations in Lawrence, a place where the past is never truly gone and the presence of the unseen is constantly felt. The history of Willow Creek House is steeped in sorrow. Constructed in the late 19th century, it was home to several generations of families, many of whom experienced untimely deaths, accidents, and personal misfortunes within its walls. Local stories recount sudden illnesses, tragic accidents, and unexplained disappearances, all of which contributed to the growing belief that the house carried an enduring, lingering energy. Over the decades, these events have been linked to the paranormal activity reported by those who have entered the home, leaving visitors with a sense that the spirits of the past are still very much present, unable or unwilling to leave. Upon entering Willow Creek House, visitors often notice an immediate shift in atmosphere. The air feels heavier, as though imbued with unseen energy. Even during the day, rooms seem dimmer than expected, and shadows stretch unnaturally along the floors and walls. Guests frequently report the sensation of being watched, an uneasy awareness that grows as they move from room to room. Ordinary sounds, the creak of floorboards, the faint rustle of curtains, or the soft groan of old wood take on an unsettling quality, amplifying the sense that something unseen resides within the house. This constant tension contributes to Willow Creek House's reputation as a place where the living and the supernatural coexist uneasily. Shadows are among the most commonly reported phenomena in the home. Visitors describe seeing dark, human-shaped figures move silently through hallways, linger near doorways, or vanish at the edges of perception. Some of these figures appear partially transparent, as if caught between two worlds, while others are darker and more solid, seeming to shift unnaturally in the dim light. Witnesses often report a palpable sense of dread when these shadows appear, feeling as though they are being observed or followed. The presence of these shadowy figures reinforces the house's eerie atmosphere and leaves many guests questioning the boundaries between reality and the supernatural. Whispers are another hallmark of Willow Creek House. Guests frequently hear faint, unintelligible voices drifting through empty rooms, sometimes rising in volume before fading abruptly. The whispers can be fleeting, appearing only for a moment, or they can persist for longer periods, creating a disorienting experience. Some visitors describe the sensation that the voices are aware of their presence, following them as they move from one room to another. The auditory phenomena, combined with the visual disturbances of shadows, create a haunting experience that is difficult to ignore and even harder to explain. Strange cold areas add a tangible, physical dimension to the haunting. Visitors report sudden drops in temperature that seem localized to certain rooms or corners, often accompanied by the appearance of shadows or whispers. These cold spots are described as sharp and penetrating, enveloping guests unexpectedly and leaving a lingering chill that cannot be attributed to drafts or ventilation. Many visitors claim that these areas carry an oppressive energy, intensifying feelings of unease and alerting them to the presence of forces beyond the natural. The combination of cold, sound, and visual phenomena makes Willow Creek House a deeply immersive haunting. The layering of shadows, whispers, and cold areas creates a complex, multi-sensory experience. Guests frequently describe a mix of fear, curiosity, and awe as they navigate the home. Even those skeptical of the paranormal often find themselves questioning their perceptions, as the consistency and intensity of the reported phenomena defy easy explanation. The house seems to respond to its occupants, guiding their experience in subtle ways that amplify the sense of being in a place where the past continues to exist alongside the present. Paranormal investigators have spent considerable time documenting the activity at Willow Creek House. Audio recordings frequently capture whispers and faint moans, while video sometimes reveals shadowy figures moving through rooms or lingering at doorways. Environmental sensors detect sudden drops in temperature that coincide with cold spots reported by visitors. Investigators also describe the unsettling sensation of being watched, even in empty rooms, reinforcing the belief that the house is saturated with residual energy from its tragic history. These findings lend weight to the stories passed down through generations and confirm that Willow Creek House is more than just a historic structure. It is a repository of lingering spirits and unresolved events. The emotional impact of visiting Willow Creek House is profound. Guests often leave feeling a mix of unease, fascination, and a lingering sense of sorrow. Many report empathizing with the spirits believed to inhabit the home, sensing the pain and loss embedded within its walls. Others describe moments of genuine fear, startled by sudden cold areas, shadowy figures, or the haunting whispers that echo through empty rooms. The house leaves an indelible impression, creating an experience that is both memorable and deeply unsettling. Over the years, Willow Creek House has become emblematic of Lawrence's haunted history. Its tragic past, coupled with decades of consistent paranormal reports, has made it a magnet for those drawn to the mysteries of the unknown. Every shadow, whispered voice, and sudden chill adds to the ongoing story of the house, reinforcing its reputation as a place where the past is never truly gone and the spirits of those long deceased continue to be felt. For those daring enough to step inside, Willow Creek House offers a chilling encounter with the unexplained. Shadows that move of their own accord, whispers that follow from room to room, and sudden cold areas that defy explanation, all serve as reminders that the house is far more than a physical structure. It is a living testament to history, memory, and lingering spirits, a place where tragedy and the supernatural converge, and where the echoes of the past continue to haunt the present. The Blackwood House in Wichita, Kansas, is a historic home, shrouded in a dark and unsettling reputation. Built in the 19th century, the house has long been associated with death, tragedy, and mysterious occurrences. While its architecture speaks of a bygone era of elegance and refinement, it is the paranormal activity reported within its walls that has captured the attention of locals and ghost hunters alike. Visitors consistently recount experiences of ghostly apparitions, unexplained footsteps echoing through empty rooms, and strange noises that seem to emerge from nowhere, particularly in the dead of night. These reports have made the Blackwood House a notorious landmark in Wichita, a place where the past refuses to remain buried and the boundary between the living and the spectral seems disturbingly thin. The history of the Blackwood House is marked by misfortune. Over the decades, several families have lived in the home, and local records, combined with oral accounts, suggest a series of untimely deaths, accidents, and personal tragedies. These events are believed to have left residual energy within the house, a lingering presence that manifests as the paranormal phenomena reported by visitors. Many locals describe the house as cursed or unsettled, noting that each occupant seemed to experience some form of misfortune. The combination of historical misfortune and persistent paranormal activity has created an enduring legend around the Blackwood House, drawing curiosity seekers, paranormal investigators, and thrill seekers eager to experience the unknown. Upon entering the Blackwood House, visitors immediately notice a shift in atmosphere. The air feels heavy, charged with an energy that is difficult to describe. Even in daylight, rooms seem darker and more shadowed than expected, and corners appear to cling to darkness as if hiding unseen presences. Guests often report the unnerving sensation of being watched, a feeling that intensifies as they move through hallways and climb staircases. Ordinary household noises, floorboards creaking, doors squeaking, the distant rumble of wind take on an eerie resonance, amplifying the sense that the house is alive with activity beyond the natural. This persistent tension is a hallmark of the Blackwood House, making it an unforgettable experience for all who enter. One of the most frequently reported phenomena is the appearance of ghostly apparitions. Visitors describe translucent figures gliding silently through corridors, lingering at doorways, or appearing on staircases before fading from sight. Some of these figures appear as former residents, dressed in period clothing reflective of the house's 19th century origins, while others are darker and more shadowy, moving in ways that defy natural human motion. Witnesses often report feeling a sudden cold or an intense sense of dread when these apparitions appear, as though the spirits are aware of their presence and watching them. The apparitions are rarely aggressive, but their presence alone is enough to leave visitors with a lasting sense of unease. Footsteps are another common occurrence in the Blackwood House. Guests frequently hear the unmistakable sound of someone walking along hallways or climbing stairs, even when no one else is present. These footsteps vary in speed and intensity, sometimes approaching as if someone is coming closer and then suddenly stopping. Many visitors report that the footsteps are accompanied by the sensation of being followed or observed, enhancing the feeling of unease. In some cases, the footsteps seem to lead towards specific rooms, coinciding with other reported phenomena, such as apparitions or unexplained noises, creating a sense of purpose or presence behind the activity. Strange noises at night are also a hallmark of the haunting. Guests report hearing doors creak open or slam shut on their own, objects falling without explanation, and soft, indistinct murmurs that seem to come from empty rooms. At times, these noises appear rhythmic, almost as if echoing the daily routines of the house's former occupants, while at other times they are sudden and jarring, startling anyone nearby. These auditory disturbances contribute to the house's chilling atmosphere and often leave visitors questioning the source of the sounds. The consistency of these reports over decades reinforces the Blackwood House's reputation as a site of genuine paranormal activity. The combination of apparitions, footsteps, and strange noises creates an immersive haunting that engages multiple senses. Guests often describe a mixture of fear, fascination, and awe as they explore the house. Even skeptics are frequently unsettled by the intensity and persistence of the phenomena, which are difficult to explain through conventional means. The Blackwood house seems to respond to its occupants, reacting subtly to their presence and creating an experience that is as psychological as it is supernatural. Every creak, flicker of shadow, and unexplained sound reinforces the impression that the house is alive with memory and energy. Paranormal investigators have documented extensive activity at the Blackwood house. Audio recordings capture footsteps, whispers, and other faint sounds, while video footage occasionally reveals fleeting shadows or figures moving through rooms. Environmental sensors detect sudden drops in temperature that often coincide with reported ghostly activity. Investigators also describe the sensation of being watched or a feeling of tension in specific areas, lending credence to the idea that the house is saturated with residual energy. These findings support the accounts of visitors over the years, confirming that the Blackwood house is more than just a historic residence, is a vessel of unresolved energy and lingering spirits. The emotional impact of visiting the Blackwood house is profound. Guests often leave with lingering unease, heightened awareness, and a strong connection to the home's troubled history. Some report empathy for the spirits believed to inhabit the house, sensing the pain and loss left behind. Others recount moments of intense fear, startled by apparitions, footsteps, or unexplained sounds. The combination of historical significance, emotional weight, and supernatural activity ensures that the Blackwood house remains a memorable and haunting experience for all who step inside. Over the years, the Blackwood house has become a symbol of Wichita's haunted legacy. Its long history of death and mysterious activity continues to attract those fascinated by the paranormal. Every apparition, every sound, and every step that seems to come from nowhere contributes to the house's enduring legend, reinforcing its status as a place where the past is never truly gone. The Blackwood house stands as a testament to history, memory, and lingering spirits, a location where tragedy and the supernatural intersect, leaving an unforgettable mark on all who enter. Thank you for joining me on this haunting journey through Kansas. From the restless spirits of Sallie House to the shadowy figures lurking in Blackwood House, each of these homes tells a story of sorrow, mystery, and the unexplained. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, these haunted houses remind us that the past never truly leaves, and that sometimes the echoes of history can be heard in the quietest moments. If you dare to listen, if tonight's stories gave you chills, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a tale from the shadows. Until next time, my friends, keep your lights on and your hearts brave, for you never know who or what might be watching from the darkness.